That is not Welsh.
Okay, well, we are now live. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we've got a scrim going on between Feline Lucky and... I didn't actually catch the other team's name.
SKR.Pink.
SKR.Pink. And let's quickly turn my sensitivity down because someone complained about motion sickness last time. Ooh, that feels weird. Right, so what's it look like we've got? Okay, we've got an AWP favourite here with the May Reaper, and on the other side we have a Junkrat and McCree setup coming out. And it looks like, yeah, Moira and Lucio versus Moira and Zenyatta. So this is going to be an interesting matchup because in theory, the Feline Lucky are going to have more healing, but the other team, who I've already forgotten the name of, are going to have better damage control because they're going to be able to discord and annihilate someone. But that fight didn't quite turn out the way I expected it to, with the Zarya and the Junkrat going down straight away, and the Rhine for the other side. And this is rapidly going the way of the team I don't know the name of. What was the name of the team again?
SKR.Pink.
SKR.Pink. Thank you, and a perfect opportunity to say that tonight I am joined by Threepwood and Zulu. So,
Hello.
a little bit rushed on the intro there and get everything up to date, but here we go. What are we thinking so far?
I'm loving the Mei wall. This is textbook how to use Mei on Nepal to separate an entire team just when SKR.Pink should have had that fight in the bag locked up. It turned into a complete rout, and now Feline Lucky will get to hang on to the point for a little longer.
That was an extremely weird team fight. There literally wasn't a team fight until there was. I don't know how to describe it, but there's some stuff.
Yeah, that was really, really good from Feline Lucky there to hold on and hold their nerve and not back out for as long as they did. Because now they're already at 65% after one fight that never really happened and a fight that they shouldn't have won.
Ooh, Maywall looks like it was a little misplaced there as the Junkrat tire comes out, replacing it with a May ult now. Gonna trap the Zarya there, but a Shatter counters it, catching almost every single member of Feline Lucky. That is McCree's signal to come in with Deadeye. No offense, McCree, but that was kind of a gimme for you.
Yeah, it's not exactly hard shooting when there's just people lying on the ground, writhing in pain. I mean, there's fish in a barrel and there's Moira on the floor. Actually, Fish was on the floor.
Ooh, damn.
Right, so... yeah, I am going to try and get a little bit better with this camera work, because this has been exceptionally scuffy, even by my standards.
But, however, we now see Feline Lucky coming back in. Fish dropping the Shatter to end all shatters as a Reaper ult decides to come out, and Swoon will then, after emptying his shotguns, literally kill every single member of SKR.Pink. And if that's not play of the game of, like, possibly Swoon's career, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that might well be the play of the game. As Saito throws out his Riptile and no hope of getting there, no hope of any of Pink managing to make it to the point. Really, really good stuff coming out there from Feline Lucky.
Aside from losing the point just for a split second, at least that's what it seems like, they were pretty much in control of that map from start to finish, and at the start it was definitely thanks to that Mei, but afterwards I'm gonna have to give it to clever ult management by Fish and Swoon. That combo is perfect.
Yeah, it's not often that a Reaper manages to get his ult off, but when it does go off, ooh, does it do damage.
Yeah, the lack of a diva in play means that he's pretty much free to go as long as there are no other ults and stuns, and the lack of a Brigitte means, and a Doomfist, means that he gets to pretty much fire at will, and now, however, they are going to abandon that. SKR.Pink still going to keep that Rhine Zarya tank combo, however, Feline Lucky is going to exercise the Rhine Diva, making use of that defense matrix, as lots of charge for SKR.Pink's Mathiasaki, and that is going to be the opening salvo of a fight that Feline Lucky has already taken control of eliminating a Pharah that was silly enough to come down to the ground. Moira follows soon after, and that's going to be the point to Feline Lucky. They will take it and continue with the cleanup.
This is a really, really strong showing from Feline Lucky. I feel like in the last few weeks they have really upgraded themselves and started exceeding all expectations. Maybe they've been sandbagging this entire time, and now that there's the EU showdown on the horizon, they've started stepping up a notch.
I mean, when you have something to play for, you definitely are able to, shall we say, bring your A game.
Would have helped if they did that, you know, when they faced us, but they were a bit late on that front.
Oof.
It's got to put it out there.
Now then, children, there's no need for that.
I, for one, am just trying to endeavor to not get Feline Lucky's name wrong for this particular stream. And now we have Mathiasaki switching off the Zarya, going up for that classic Wrecking Ball. I'm going to affix myself to the center of the point and simply roll around on it until someone bothers to kill me. Problem with that is you're not really doing a lot of damage and simply contesting the point for free. Now Swoon comes out with a much more difficult Deadeye to hit. D.Va already being taken out of the equation, or that is to say, not part of the equation, kills Moira and McCree, and it's cleanup time once again for Feline Lucky. I've never seen a cat clean up after itself, but these ones are doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet they're grinning from ear to ear. You could say, like a Cheshire cat.
Well, SKR.Pink is going to have to pull themselves out of Wonderland somehow. Otherwise, this is going to be a straight 0 to 100 match. And right now, I'm not seeing a lot that can change that. Deathstroke, however, does have that fight-winning shatter. And if he can take advantage of Fish separating himself from the rest of his team, that could be it. However, Sea-Dog's D.Va ult fizzles on the point, not really catching anything, not doing a lot of damage. It's a Rhine battle, and there it is! Fish goes down! Deathstroke is now free to use his shatter, and I believe it will come out right now, catches Cat, eliminates him with that quick fire strike. The combination of ults now from SKR.Pink means that they are, with all the tools in their arsenal, going to take this point back with a very clean victory over Feline Lucky.
Yeah, and Sea-Dog there granted the honor of a swift death. Not staggered out for what always feels like hours when you're that baby D.Va.
Yeah.
And we've just seen Fish has been really good in this. She's been... sorry, not she. They've been just sort of teasing the enemy Rhine, Deathstroke, into making mistakes.
And it has been very effective thus far. Fish's tendency to run out into the team has thus far been excellent. Sea-Dog manages to just barely avoid getting DMX'd by the Dragons. Cat, not so lucky. All 9 lives used up. However, they get a 10th from Mercy. Swoon on the McCree picks up Moira once again with the Deadeye. Hanzo's, with Dakar 73 driving it, has been doing an amazing work of damage. Sea-Dog eliminates themselves, and that is going to be a full reset from Feline Lucky.
Yeah, and Thakar there... Actually, is it Thakar or Takar?
I'd say Takar.
Takar.
Yeah.
Who's the... I'm thinking of a character from something that's called Sakar. What the hell is it? Oh, it's from a random Dungeons & Dragons podcast I listen to, so that's not going to be a very easy reference to get.
It's a shame to see a Wrecking Ball ult come out like that. All the mines placed exactly where they didn't want them to be, and a big shatter comes out, possibly a little after. Maybe the barrage was supposed to come with the shatter. Not really sure. Can't really tell where this is going, and even trades are coming out left and right. Moira's Coalescence making it so that this is very difficult to follow. Mercy coming out with a Valkyrie. However, it looks like SKR.Pink is coming up on their own 99 percentage, and if Feline Lucky does not take this fight decisively, that is going to be a victory and a third round for SKR.Pink. Fish now back on the point, swinging away. Shatter blocked, yet Cat manages to get found and eliminated. D.Va Bomb wipes out Deathstroke, and that's going to be a down a main tank as Transcendence comes out. A res comes in on Cat. Feline Lucky was at full strength, but Saito brings out their own Deadeye and eliminates both the main tank and Lucio. Takar picking up the slack on the other tank with Mercy, and right now, Feline Lucky is going to have to do their best to stall out on this point as the rest of the team comes back. Swoon switching onto this Tracer, not able to make enough of an impact. Overtime is going down. Pharah doing their best to stall. Bless their hearts, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, no, that didn't entirely go to plan. Strangely, Fish's shield being up, he didn't quite have it over enough, so Cat did get caught by that Earth Shatter around the side. And when Seadog went in to try and dematrix Saito as he was using his Deadeye, it's something that you see quite often with players that are new to D.Va, or maybe aren't used to how much less defense matrix she has now, but they'll just rush at the McCree, holding defense matrix the entire time. And what you want to try and do if you're in this situation is hold on to that defense matrix, wait a little bit longer, try and hold your nerve, and then when you feel like they've had enough time building up death, then that's when you decide to click go. And when you decide to click defense matrix, then you can hold it for that bit longer, and it will hopefully absorb that all-important killing ultimate.
Yeah, it's a really difficult line to run with D.Va. Once the Deadeye comes out, you know you have the tools you need, and you have to use that tool wisely. D.Va's defense matrix not having the longest duration in the world means you have to make use of it. Every little second counts. As we're seeing with a big halt from Fish, yanking a Roadhog and a Junkrat, the dynamic Australian crime duo. Ooh,
and Seadog and Random Shadow getting very close to that ledge there. I bet their behind was twinkling.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they caught one of the characters that can fly, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Is now Feline Lucky has set up at the center entrance to the Sanctuary, just dropping their shield, and they're going to try and make the best out of it without the halt and hook combo to bring anyone in, though. It is up to a flanking Saito McCree to see if he can break this. And it looks like he's been discovered and is going to get tossed away. SKR.Pink's... Oh, and... Oof. It looks like SKR.Pink has decided that they're going to have a straight-up brawl at the center point. Not... And there they go. They're going to start rotating around to the other side, which is ideal. However, a Dragons is about to catch them with their pants down. Saito gets eliminated, only 200 health to work with. And 2 more! A Myra in the hug!
Absolutely brilliant from Fish there. Sucked the remaining people that were hiding to the side away from that Dragons right into the middle of it. Is Fish the new gesture?
Wow. It's true, and we were just talking about how awesome of a play it is to use that simple Orisa halt ability to combo with a single ult, turning what could be normally just a zoning ult into an incredible play, and yet we see it happening. Pro-level play right there. Lots of ults now coming out in this little corner as they manage to catch SKR.Pink in a bit of a squabble. However, Junkrat Tire comes out. They know where it's going to be coming from, though. That's going to be an easy takedown. Coalescence comes out, manages to find Fish on the tank, shields notwithstanding. But that damage booster is still there, and that's going to... It has been... Duration has ended. Deathstroke gets a big shatter! Eliminates almost everyone, but D.Va gets her bomb out. No deaths! Wow, what a play!
Absolutely amazing timing from Seadog there, just not allowing Deathstroke to do anything in the duration. He maybe should have thrown out a Fire Strike or something, and another Dragon comes across, doesn't pick up anything this time, but incredible heads-up play from Seadog there to try and minimize the damage of that Earth Shatter.
But now the ults of SKR.Pink are coming to bear, and it looks like they will be able to take the point from Feline Lucky. However, another D.Va bomb comes out from Seadog, and they are going to go for the D-Mech, and I guess continue to stall, but that's going to be it. They will let themselves be knocked off the map.
Not the wisest investment from Seadog there. The fight was well and truly over. There was no way he was going to get a 6-man self-destruct that blatant off. And he should have just saved that ultimate for the next fight. And even remeching himself, all he did there was feed over that extra ult charge towards SK.Pink.
Right. It's difficult to have such an incredible self-destruct come out, and then have another self-destruct come out that didn't quite do it. And bam! Takar with a major tire eliminates Fish, and just recently off the Hanzo and Orisa. And that is going to be cleanup time now for SKR.Pink as they rip apart the rest of Feline Lucky, and their charge continues to mount. Interesting to see how Feline Lucky is going to approach this. They're now pulling out a very, very swift rotation. Just recently has... Ooh, that Shatter didn't manage to catch anyone, just a little out of range. Sea Dog now trying to wreak some havoc, just break up the line a little. Saito takes the bait and runs out, but manages to get away. Right now, it is a poke game as both teams are content to sit beside their respective shields. However, there goes a damage boost from Orisa. That means it's time for them to move. However, that's going to be anchoring the Orisa in place. Fish goes down, gets rezzed immediately, but that has broken the ult. That's huge. Sea Dog gets demeched very far away from his team. And Swoon manages to get eliminated from the point with a very well-placed uppercut. And Feline Lucky's going to go for a quick reset, and I don't know if that's going to work out for them.
Yeah, with only 95 on the clock, they're going to have to do something spectacular here to touch. I know that Swoon just went in, but he instantly got punched off the side of the map. So he has managed to kick it to overtime, but Sea Dog didn't quite make it there.
Oh, that's a really rough position to be in. With 88% left on the clock, what do? Do you make the choice to try and stall, or do you go for a reset? In this case, it looks like maybe going for the stall would have led to more of a chance, and yet that is going to be 2-1 to SKR.Pink, and that theoretically should be the end of the map.
Yeah, they'll have set it up to be a best of 5 in those circumstances, so that they get to play all 3 maps.
As this is a scrim.
Yeah, that's generally what's done in scrims. But, oh, so frustrating for Feline Lucky there. Just overcommitment of ults in the wrong times and not making the most out of those situations that they made for themselves so well.
And it sucks. It sucks when you, again, is that a call for the shot to make? If the shot caller says go for the reset and you don't think you can make it back in time, they did have the Lucio. They had fast heroes that could get them back on the point. It's just a really nasty situation to be in.
But on the same hand, they had the Lucio. They could have sped out.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe something for them to learn from before they've got a big game coming up against, I want to say, Abusement Park?
Yes, they'll be playing Abusement Park.
Ooh.
So that'll be a very exciting game.
It should be really exciting because Feline Lucky have been looking really, really good, and Abusement Park haven't been bringing their A game lately. So it is a chance for Feline Lucky to potentially pick up a win, which we are all hoping for.
Indeed. Indeed.
So Zulu, what was your main tank critique of that game?
Well, it was, I don't know, it was very... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? It was kind of... Oh, let me think of the word. It was very split, I'll say, because I didn't really notice the two main tanks come up against each other that much. Either one of them died straight away, or they never really just faced each other. It was very weird. I just sort of noticed Fish on second point as well. He just completely ignored the wrecking ball swinging next to him. It's just caught me off a bit, it's quite weird. So, yeah.
To be fair on that center, is it Shrine where it's got the center bit that's raised up in the middle?
I think so. Yeah.
It seemed like whoever it was that was playing I think it was Mathisaki who was playing the wrecking ball there. No, it was Deathstroke, wasn't it? I don't know. Whoever it was in that circumstance, I missed who it was. But they didn't seem to be doing a lot other than swinging around the pillar.
Yeah, they got off a minefield, which didn't really do much. Yeah, he's kind of like inconsequential at the end. But I don't know, it seemed like a point to bring up.
Yeah, definitely. It was probably something that they should have better capitalized on.
Yes.
But, it was not to be.
C'est la vie.
Yep, such is life. Je n'en parle pas français.
Ignorant American.
I don't know, you were dropping some Spanish the other night.
I got some ignorance in my throat. No, yeah. Once upon a time I was conversational, but alas, those days, they are a tad behind me.
Well, don't worry, I was just saying I can't speak French.
Got me good, you son of a...
So, it looks like we're going to Volskaya Industries next.
Oof.
What can we expect to see?
Fire.
Brimstone.
Yep. But something that Feline Lucky have been running lately has been the Orisa for the first point.
It's interesting to say the least.
But...
When it works great. When it doesn't, you have to reset your ult charge for the second point.
Yeah.
They ran it against us, and they set up way too forward. Like they were set up next to the next to the point. I think if they wanted to do it, they got to set up on the high ground. That's the only way Orisa's plausible on the first point, in my opinion.
I agree. And even if you do decide to run the Orisa, you have to run a complementary tank. I've been seeing a lot of Orisa Diva lately, and I saw it on Volskaya, I saw it on King's Row. I don't think I've ever seen it work.
No.
I think we saw it work on their second hold.
Yes!
Obviously, that means it did fail once.
Right. And I definitely think it can be made to work. I don't think the first point of Volskaya is the way to do it. On that second point, there's lots of great places for the Orisa Holt to pull out people that might be hiding around the tricky corners, and then the Diva dive them with all her rockety might.
Yeah, and I imagine we're almost definitely going to be seeing some Farah here because she is so very strong on this. Although, in theory, I don't fully understand why she is so strong at our level, because there's not a lot of cover for her to use. It's not like in your competitive games where people will hold at this choke here that I'm currently speccing, which is the one by the lorry. No one holds like that when they're in a proper team environment, because the teams are better organised and coordinated. And generally speaking, you'll hold in an Overwatch League style, where you're back on the high ground above behind the point.
The one thing I think that changed recently that led to the more, I guess, the higher prevalence of Farah picks was definitely the lack of Widowmaker, McCree, and definitely no Soldier anymore. You're not seeing those very, very hard Farah counters any longer. It used to be almost a default. Here, by the back right of that little center hut, lies Widow. She will stand here and she will shoot you until you die. We don't really get to see a lot of that anymore, and I think that's emboldened a lot of DPS players to have that Farah pick come out and really take advantage of the openness of the map.
And we've both spoken too soon, because there is both a McCree and a hold at the very place where I said there wouldn't be.
And there's Swoon! And Swoon comes... Swoon picks the Widowmaker instead. No. Oh, well.
Just recently stepped into a trap as he came out on the Sombra to scout out things, and then just got absolutely annihilated by Takada.
And that is going to be a sizable quantity of ult charge, bumping himself up to that 20%. In the league, it became popular recently to drop a mine exactly... Oh, geez, Zenyatta doling out the Enlightenment. Pushier than a Jehovah's Witness, but there's going to be a res, and that's going to be a res down. Won't have that again for 30 more seconds, Cat, but I think that was the wise move, is that lets Feline Lucky get their push on a little faster.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of weight on Saito's shoulders here, because he's going to be going up against just recently, who, as we saw in the last game, was playing fairly good Farah on the first point. But he's hovering a bit too low here. He needs to be careful. Swoon does take out Takar, though, as the rest of the team starts to collapse on themselves. Unfortunately, the Ana there managed to take out Fish, going for a very brave dive in there.
Yeah, that's a bit reckless. Well, very reckless.
Yeah, I've seen Swoon on Widow before. This is definitely a good pick for them. But that's definitely one of those situations where Widowmaker says, hey guys, I got a pick. But your team is dead. And that's not necessarily Widowmaker's fault. But the team does no longer have a full 6-man squad to engage the team. Widowmaker's got to pick the shots where they can find them, and they're not always going to be the shots that are going to directly support the team fight happening on the ground. Especially as Mana, Zenyatta, definitely interested in bringing the glory of the Iris to Swoon's Widowmaker there.
Yeah, you could say he blew his mind with enlightenment. But we've got a Nano Winston command, but he's been instantly discorded. And Deathstroke needs to be really careful there. He was purpled and so very low. Just managed to get out with that with his skin. But now they've surrendered that choke. It's going to allow the rest of Feline Lucky to start doing some work, hopefully.
That's a situation where you definitely want to be calling out your anti-targets. Deathstroke was a punch and a zap away from being eliminated, and this push would probably be already done if that were the case. However, now he's holding on to a shatter. Takar does get taken out, and Fish is going to be very angry in his eventual mode. Wow! Almost had Reinhardt pushed off, but instead it's going to be Fish getting reduced to almost nothing. Gets just topped up, but Saito on the McCree manages to pull them out. A nano goes out on the Reinhardt. I don't think any more ults need to come out from SKR.Pink as the Deadeye finishes off the rest of them. Sea-Dog once again drops his ult into a lost fight, catches mana, which is nice. If they can get back in time, they can capitalize on that long spawn walk.
But something there that was absolutely incredible from Random Shadow was they antied the Rhine, so when the nano boost went onto Deathstroke, he didn't get the health. So
that was a brilliant maneuver.
He was so close to death, and if it wasn't for Saito coming back with that clutch Deadeye, that would have been the end for Deathstroke, who has now just been taken out, and Matsaki going for a very brave... Oh! Takar!
The tire, the fight-winning tire, and yet, oh, but out comes the trans, keeping alive that Ana at the very last minute, and anti-nade goes out onto Fish. That means he has to pull out, leaving just Sea-Dog and Swoon. Sea-Dog with only a Bunny Blaster left. They do manage to pick up the rest of the kills. I think SKR.Pink should be looking to re-engage, as they are definitely capable of retaking this point.
I don't think they are. They've got no supports to come in and help them here. They've only got the Earth Shatter now, and that is their one and only ult. The only one they're even close to other than a nano boost.
I was thinking we'd see a Lucio come out and boost them all back to the point, because if they had done that, they definitely would have been there by now. However, you are correct. It is all over for the first point, and out of overtime, Feline Lucky will take point A and move on to a 4-minute slog on one of the roughest points in Volskaya.
Oh, it's definitely in the top 2. But this is... You know, Feline Lucky don't have a lot to work here with. They have a Pulse Bomb, and they almost have a Winston ult. The Primal Rage isn't the most useful thing in the world here, and that Pulse Bomb goes wide, unfortunately. But the D.Va's been isolated. He's being taken out here. Swoon takes down Psycho in the back while Anna's exchanged each other. The D-Mech comes through, and now this looks like they could do it. That absolutely fantastic shatter, but Deathstroke gets booped and isn't able to actually hit anyone with his charge there. And we might be seeing a very quick snowball.
Wow, that was not one of the best pushes I've ever seen. And they still have some ults in the bank. Now the nano boost goes out, but it went onto McCree, and he hasn't gotten anything to show for it yet. Big bomb comes out. It's Baby Diva, Saito's McCree, and a Tracer all in one. That's the point. They clean up, prevent anyone from getting on it. Wow, time left on the clock 2 out of an overtime. Unbelievable push.
Yeah, absolutely nothing SKR.Pink could do there with that self-destruct, because they had nowhere to run to. And great timing coming out from Sea-Dog, who seems to be getting... He's coming out about 50-50 with these D.Va bombs as to whether they're good or whether it's an absolutely trash ultimate that you should have saved for the next fight. But hopefully it's going to improve and continue improving, because he is fairly new to this. He was a main tank, but he's just recently, not just recently the player, he has in the near past decided to make the switch over to the off-tank role. And it definitely seems to be making an improvement for the team as a whole. Fish has been putting in a really good shift and making some big improvements and big efforts with this main tank play. I don't know, what's your opinion of the Deathstroke v Fish battle here, Zulu?
Well, one thing I've noticed about Fish's Winston is that he's very, very reckless. His bubbles are way too early, which then costs him to get antied, and then they usually follow up with a kill on him. So I think if he You know, his Ryan's pretty good, to be fair to him, but he needs to just clean up his Winston a bit. You know, not be as aggressive as he is. You know, bubble a bit later, because as soon as he jumps in, he pops his bubble midair. It lands like behind him, so he doesn't get full usage out of it, etc., etc. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's he's very brave.
Yeah, brave is a good word.
Some might say suicidal, but I am against using that word to describe any main
We've
tanks.
banned that word now.
We're not suicidal, we're aggressive.
Yes.
There's a difference.
Aggressive calculations.
And yeah, Deathstroke's been doing a good job of keeping his shield up. That's about it on the Reinhardt play that I've seen so in that last match, particularly.
I haven't noticed anything too special. You know, nothing like it's just basic Reinhardt play. You know, nothing amazing, nothing too crappy. But yeah.
So I really want to see him try and concentrate on knowing when to drop that shield and just start swinging. And I know that Saito and Takar are both coming out with some really good plays, but now they're moving across to a Goats comp by the look of things, and that is going to be all about Deathstroke, because a Goats comp lives and dies by how good the Rhine plays.
Yeah. Without a Rhine, Goats is nothing. They'll collapse.
Said like a true Rhine player.
Yes, I've had many experience of Goats collapsing.
There was a legendary composition that I was able to partake in the creation of once in another league, and we decided that what we would do is we would have 5 support players come together to form one giant Reinhardt Voltron, and we called it the Voltron comp. And we did it on King's Row, and we took point A within about 30 seconds. And one thing that it basically emulates the core mechanic at Goats' heart, which is the sheer ferocity, surprise, and speed at which a giant Reinhardt with a giant hammer protected by a Zarya bubble is going to come running at you.
Well, 5 Sports sounds very familiar to me. I'm not sure why. Not so.
We've all played Quick Play before.
And it's never to be spoken about in scrims or EU showdowns again. So, what are we coming out with?
Moving swiftly on.
Yes. So, Swoon is coming out on that McCree. He had a very good game on Nepal, I think. Sorry, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. Let me just have a quick drink of rum.
Well, Fish is setting up in his same position again, which is very brave of them indeed. Because with the SDK.Pink coming out on Goats, chances are they're going to get run over.
Yeah, you don't want to be this far forward against the Goats comp, and they're not revealing that it is a Goats comp to them until it's going to be too late for them to adjust. They're coming around this left-hand side, and they're actually crouch walking, so that they can't even hear the footsteps.
Now, running a Widowmaker against a Goats, that is going to live and die whether you can sneak a headshot over that Reinhardt shield. And as they go to engage, I'm curious how this one's going to fly out. Fish's charge gets blocked by Deathstroke's, but Deathstroke gets the anti-nade. Big anti-nade comes in, and that's going to be both main tanks getting annihilated pretty quickly right off the bat. Both teams now trading kills. Really, it's honestly just Mata eliminating that Ana. And now, actually, SKR.Pink is going to be doing most of the cleanup, and that's Goats at its finest. Killing whoever is on the ground and then going back and mopping up the backline.
Yeah, because the Rhine shield is the most important at range. As soon as they were that close, it was... Sorry.
Moving
a
swiftly
little bit
on.
of a tickle there.
That comp was rough, I know, but it wasn't that bad.
Sorry. Yeah, so, the Rhine shield is only very important at long range. As soon as you got to as close as they were with the Rhines engaging with each other as the rest of the team tries to back the hell out, that's already too late. It doesn't matter if the Rhine goes down by then, because they're so up close and personal that the Zarya, the Diva, the Brigitte, the Moira can all do damage to every member of your team, and there's nothing to block it now, because both of your Rhines are down. And they're so much more meaty and sustainy with the the constant healing from the Lucio and from the Brigitte, that there was nothing that they could do in that situation to stop themselves from getting demolished.
Yeah, that's a
They
rough
had set up
situation.
on the high ground. They would have been a completely different point. You know, it's just the fact that they set up so forward, and that they came out with the goats comp. It just ran over them.
Yeah, when you're running goats and you see that, hey, look, there's only a few people over here, and then everyone else is too far away to help. You get the little giggles.
Pylon! It's so irritating when the game gets stuck where it is on a pause, because I've currently got that, and anyone who's watching will have that. Whoa! It's almost like a crappy Inception noise.
The bois minus Hans Zimmer's glorious composition behind it.
Yeah, there's no more. Okay, it looks like just recently, not just recently, Feline Lucky are ready to go back in, so we're going to be going back into this. I believe Sea Dog lost his communications.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Uh-oh, looks like they are going for a bit of the snowball as SKR.Pink, with no alts in the bank, looks like they are going to start their dry push nice and early. Depending on how many picks they can get, this could turn into a pretty wonderful pick. However, no however at all. That's a stun coming out on Deathstroke, but he's going to recover just fine. Fish stays dead, and that's going to be the shatter coming out. Clean up, everyone do your share as Sea Dog frantically tries to stay alive. Zarya's beam's going crazy, but that's going to be Swoon Zarya falling first. Sea Dog's Diva gets nanoed, was about to say that was a D-Make, and major shatter coming out from Fish! Unbelievable! He gets caught by the grav and no one's gonna get caught by it! Oh, the follow-up! It had to have been there, but it wasn't. Coalescence flies into the sky, and that's gonna catch a Moira and a Lucio, who couldn't manage to get in time just in time. However, the Brigitte fight is won by Saito on the side of Pink, but the spawn advantage is going to be pretty intense coming in. However, they now have overtime spawn... I'm sorry, not overtime. Major spawn advantages. Fish comes in with a wrecking ball just to get back on the map that much faster. They are going to start pushing SKR.Pink away without getting a tick, but the ult build-up now definitely favors SKR.Pink. Their next push is going to be fraught with peril.
See, while they're going to be missing out on a Reinhardt ult, they do have that Graviton, and that's going to enable them to build up towards a Reinhardt very, very fast if Fish chooses to switch. But that was absolutely incredible, not surrendering a tick. Someone carry on, please.
Making sure you have all the players on the point necessary. Just having someone contesting means the attacking team does not get any progress at all in the slightest, as long as you are there. It is of vital importance to do two things during a stall. Stay on the point and kill people. It sounds simple when you put it like that, but it is very important to also stay on the point, as now a rally comes in. Diva Bomb looks like it's going to lead the charge, coming down onto the point, high enough to just get over the Reinhardt shield and eliminate a Lucio. I'm picking up the call from all the way across the pond. Big Graph comes out, and now here comes Coalescence. That's damage you can't do anything about, but somehow SKR.Pink holds and manages to take out Fish before he can get any of that precious ult charge from the Grav. Now Sea Dog gets D-Mech, and they are building up their presence on the point. Still no progress yet as they manage to stay on it, but Coalescence is going to come out, countered by the sound barriers. However, that is a lot of healing that's going to be coming out from Mr. Alaman, as now Cat's Lucio falls. Zarya, Mathiasaki gets major charge. Fish goes down to a shatter, picked up by Deathstroke, and now they are going to once again start clearing up the members of Feline Lucky. Sound barriers coming out to make sure they stay alive long enough. Swoon, major charge, he falls. Random Shadow is going to do their very best, but it looks like they are also going to get forced off, and now progress is going to be racked up in full. I think Feline Lucky have one more shot at keeping this alive.
And they've just been grabbed in spawn. It's just Fish that's managed to get onto spawn.
And it was enough! That was enough to stall them out! A rally comes out, Sea Dog gets D-Mech'd, I think? Nope, there they go! Big, Dakar drops the bomb and annihilates the Lucio, the Brigitte, and the Zarya. That's not the situation you want to be in. Unbelievable. That's a D-Mech on Sea Dog. Fish now returning to the Hammond, but as he leaves that point with those things, that is going to be the progress they need. 7% more on the point, and that's it. SKR.Pink finishes Volskaya much faster than Feline Lucky.
Well, they did well to contest for about 2 minutes there. So
Oh
good job
yeah,
to them.
absolutely, definitely one of the best stalls you can pull out in that kind of situation.
And you say it's
Really,
much
not much-
faster, but it's only 40 seconds.
Yeah, that stall did something with my perception of time. They really only have a 40-second time in the bank, time advantage over Feline Lucky, which frankly is definitely due to how stellar that defense was.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant work on that stall, because it was just a matter of one or two picks that could have completely swung it back in to Feline Lucky's direction. If Fish hadn't have gone down in that just before that grav came out, then potentially he would have had Shatter in that fight, because he was at 60-something%. And when he came back in the next fight, he was 70-80, but his team was grabbed on the point, so they weren't able to put up a decent fight. Despite the fact they did something that I always really appreciate, which is when they decide to hold on and wait in spawn until they come in as a collective and as a group, so that they can last longer and maybe potentially win the fight, rather than just trickling on one by one. And now we're seeing a counter goats come out from Feline Lucky. They've said, okay, you're going to do it, well, we can do it too.
Now, however, they are going to be running right into a Junkrat, which is one of the best methods of stopping a Goats, and it looks like Fish gets stopped on the Reinhardt. However, and yes, there it is. Cat gets picked up without that Red Shield to protect him. Deathstroke free to go crazy. Brigitte has been eliminated. That's one less source of healing. Fish, the main tank, goes down. This is when Feline Lucky needs to jump off and reset, and it looks like they are picking up the pieces and reading the writing on the wall. Swoon and Shadow getting out of there as quickly as possible.
And Random Shadow just dodging out of the way of a Takar bomb coming at him at just the right time. So, good work getting out. He's retained that charge. Swoon's on 60% charge, so it was definitely worth spending a bit of time trying to get out of there rather than just rushing. Oh, no!
That's just... I definitely understand that SKR.Pink made that play happen, but sometimes if you're Feline Lucky, maybe luck just isn't really on your side. There are some unfortunate timings and coincidences that you can't possibly know about when you're playing Overwatch, and I think that played a little bit of part in that one.
Yeah, and Zulu, if you could step in on the colour casting for a bit, because I need to sort out my throat, because I am coughing uncontrollably, and it's really starting to boil my piss.
Oh.
I'm going to mute myself so I can... Oh, massive. Bit of an overcommitment of ults, but, you know, what are you going to do? But yeah, I'm going to mute myself for a bit so I can get this coughing fit over and done with.
Woof. And with that, Deathstroke, Mana, and Saito stockpiling ults, a Grav about to come online. Only a Shatter and a Diva Bomb really coming out for Feline Lucky. This is going to be a push that is not going to go in their favor.
Yeah, so many ults coming out from Feline Lucky, honestly, that I think they should have saved, you know, because looks like, what's the game again? SKR.Pink have that many ults on them.
Ooh, and then we see Random Shadow getting picked up by Mr. Ali Kaliman just before the push really could get started. It looks like they are going to go ahead without them, but just recently is going to get picked up. That's the last of their supports, and that is going to be a full reset from Feline Lucky as Swoon dives off the map.
Just dismantling them. I just feel like Feline Lucky have got no coordination at all. They just all seem to be disjointed.
Yeah, and it's a shame they couldn't really... I can't tell if they're tilted or what, but they looks like they're almost starting to trickle a bit, and that's a bad situation to be in when you have characters like Ana. And there it is, a big Grav. Sea-Dog doesn't manage to get the defense matrix up in time. That's going to keep them down. Now a stalling Shatter keeps the Fish. They do manage to get someone on the point in the form of just recently's Farah, who is now going to stall for time as a big Shatter comes out from Fish, and now all of a sudden this is a game. They manage to take... Fish does get taken... and Takar ends the push right when they were at the height of their hope with a well-placed tire that eliminates a Mercy and a Hanzo. That's going to be it. Just recently falls. Cat with a Discord orb on him drops his sound barriers. He will now have to stall long enough for the rest of the team to make it back, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, that was just that was unfortunate. Feeling lucky, as you said, it just seemed like they were trickling most of that. They overcommitted fire ults even, and yeah, poor performance really.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation to be in. Do you make the call at the beginning to say, look, we're going to wait till we get 6 ults and then we're going to storm the point? Do we just try and have a couple pushes where we win the fight? Maybe then we can snowball into the second. I don't know. It's a difficult, again, just really difficult choices. Some unfortunate timing and some really great praise from SKR.Pink, however, are making it so that they now only have to take 1/3 of point A on Volskaya, and was 3.5 minutes. That's a pretty probable reality.
Yeah, so feeling lucky you're going to have to post something huge here.
Now, not saying it can't be done. SKR
no,
Pink
it's
did.
doable.
They definitely just pulled off a full hold, and not a single tick was had that day for Feline Lucky. So it is very much within their power to pull this off as well. And it looks like they are going with that lovable stall comp of a Mei, which can be, quite honestly, one of the most infuriating things on the planet. And then they're also going to go with just recently on the Hanzo. Now, he doesn't have anything other than a Shatter to assist in team wiping the entire team with his dragons, but dragons can be a great way to keep people off the point while you stall for time.
And it's nice to see them set up on the high ground for once. That will help them a lot, with especially with the Hanzo as well.
Okay, and I should be back now. Hopefully, that'll be the end of that.
Welcome back.
Don't die on us.
That would be preferred.
Yeah, the camera work went even shakier than usual. So, yeah, no, what have we got coming out? So we do have goats coming straight out again, but that Hanzo is going to be really important. SKR.Pink being very disappointed to find there was no one just around that corner for them waiting, and there's going to need to be a lot of invested into Fish here to keep this going. But Saito's already at the point with Takar. They need to get on the point. Seadog has to boost himself down onto the point, and now they're at the mercy of this chaotic fight where Goat's comps will exceed. Just recently goes down, but Cat does take DMX Takar, and Swoon is doing a lot of work with this Mei, just slowing everyone down. Fish putting out a really quick shatter there. Great work from him. And it looks like they've managed to repel this for now. And they've managed to hold that first point as Seadog. Oh, shouldn't have maybe used that. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that.
That is a huge point stalling ult that just got spent there. And honestly, not even getting a stall out of it. As 4 members of SKR.Pink are about to be joined by the Brigitte and the Reinhardt. Knight and Squire duo joining up once again. Now Goats is going to get its legs back under it. That was a brilliant rotation onto the way. Fish gets the charge off on Deathstroke though. Almost gets separated with the wall. Sound barriers come out from the sides. A solid big shatter, big shatter, big shatter, and the Deathstroke's Reinhardt goes down. A rally comes out. I'm not really sure about that. This fight is pretty much over. They are going to have that armor if they survive, and it looks like they are slowly pulling out. Rally, luckily, not wasted if you're a Pink player, but they are now going to have to struggle to keep this push alive. And all they are doing right now is giving them Feline Lucky a chance to pull that armor away. Diva Bomb comes out. Massive bomb. Eliminates the Mei and the Ana. That's going to be huge.
And with this grab, but the dragons come out. It almost managed to protect Fish and Cat in that grab. But Seadog gets demeched by the shatter itself there, I think. Maybe? No, it wasn't. It was Mathasaki. And that is the end of Volskaya.
The Mei getting caught by that Diva Bomb was, I think, the clutch move that turned the fight to Pink. With that Mei ult in the back pocket, that could have been yet another way for them to stall for an incredible amount of time and probably win a fight outright.
By Mage, you mean Diva?
No, Feline Lucky had a Mei ult.
Ah, sorry, I missed that one.
Yeah.
But
she was hiding it.
Oh,
Clean 5k. What you like to see.
See, in those circumstances, that's when Seadog wants to not point it directly at the McCree, but turn it to the side, because it's not about a funnel pointing it straight at. It's about creating a line in the sand that says, there will be no projectiles go across this. So, for you at home, and if you watch this again later, Seadog, when a McCree's doing that and you're not going to be able to charge straight at him and completely envelop him in that defense matrix, turn it to the side towards your allies. You'll take a hit still, but the rest of your team won't. It probably wouldn't have worked in that circumstances because he would have been shot first and he might have been demeched. But if you're on the other side, it's something you can try and do. And maybe stop a 3k.
That is definitely rough times. And it's true, if you can't manage to get your way to the McCree, even just pick a vulnerable teammate that you can see. Just throw the DM on them, especially if you can find the Mercy, because then not only will you save the Mercy, but odds are Mercy's got her res up, and she'll be able to bring back someone that just got aced by a McCree ult.
Yeah, so what do we see that both teams can maybe improve on, do better? Something that they did great. Always like to concentrate on the positives.
Well, I'm going to say one thing straight away. This is sort of a general thing for both teams that I've noticed. It's come out every now and then. But I think overall coordination, sometimes it's been extremely sloppy, but sometimes it's been extremely good. So I think they just need to make it more consistent.
Yep, and something on the negative side of things there that I'd say is that they need to try and work on.
Goodness.
Sorry, I can hardly criticise considering my current bodily functions so far. Bodily functions probably not the right word, but you know, whatever.
Tomatoes.
Yeah. Something they need to try and work on there is Rhines need to be getting better at blocking a diva bomb that's gone up and over, because both Rhines did not a great job of protecting their teams from self-destructs that they'd saved themselves from. They need to maybe focus on, I don't know if many people are aware of this, but when you've got your shield up with a right click on Rhine, if you press left click, then you can then swing your mouse around to rotate the camera so you can see behind you. Now, in most circumstances, that's absolutely useless. But when you've got a diva bomb coming at you, point yourself at it, hold your right click, hold your left click, look around behind you, and see who's using your shield and where they are, and then cover them.
It is a clutch maneuver to pull off. Sometimes your Rhine shield, it's almost like catching a fly ball in the outfield, to use a possibly inept baseball metaphor. But when that diva bomb goes up, you need to be tracking it. You need to be following it with your shield. And then you also kind of have to predict its path a little, because where that diva bomb lands and where it explodes aren't always the same place. It might not ever reach the ground. Your shield, it could catch your shield such that it is going to go over it, as we saw on the final point on Volskaya, and catch someone that might be, from the ground's perspective, right behind your shield. But angle-wise, that diva bomb is going to get just enough over it to catch them.
Yeah, and just three questions quick for you there, Threep. Is what's a fly ball? What's an outfield? And what's a baseball?
Those are excellent questions. And to be very fair, frankly, I don't think we have enough time in this stream to cover it.
Yeah, baseball's kind of like cricket, isn't it?
You know what? Yes. We're going to go with quite a solid yes.
Yeah, or like tennis where only one person gets a racket.
Now that would be a sport worth watching. Hang on a second.
Yeah.
We could be on to something here.
Let's get Roger Federer involved. Zulu, you've got connections, right?
With what?
Roger Federer.
Why would I have connections with Roger Federer?
Well, because you're a ball boy. Oh, sorry. No, I misheard earlier. You're a ball bag. Sorry, my mistake.
I'm going to go cry in a corner now. Thank you so much.
Sorry, you've got good cop and bad cop in any kind of relationship. And I think, Threep is so happy and energetic that he has to be the good cop. And so I have to try and be the bad cop.
It's true. It's true. I find myself unable to be salty when I'm watching Overwatch, but not playing it. It's just, I do that enough when I'm actually on the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, and it's a delightful change for me, because normally I'm the positive one, so I'm like, holy crap, there's someone even more positive. Happy days.
Now you get to let all your negativity and stress out. It's very mutually beneficial.
Yeah, and Zulu's enjoying being a punching bag.
I'm used to it. I mean, in both my teams, I've been the laughing stock, so
yeah,
it's kind of just like,
oof.
yeah.
You do play on a team with Caliber, and he does like to dish out the abuse.
Yeah, but before that, when I was on Feline, lucky I got bullied by my coach. So
Isn't that the same coach that then became your captain on your current team?
no. This is a coach called Wyoming. He was he was something else. He's long gone though. He's gone. But I have a new coach now, and I prosper.
Yep, one of the top 4 main tanks in all of the EU.
But there's only 4 main tanks in EU.
Look, why can't you just learn to take a compliment?
Oh. Well, what am I? 3rd or 4th tanks? And that's going to come about soon.
You know, someday you'll be an MVP.
Oof.
Don't. That's a touchy subject. Don't want that brought up, please. I'd like to steer away from that controversial subject as fast as possible.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't want you getting Is there a word when you're really unhappy and you want to do a bad thing? Maybe end it all?
I don't know. I'm stupid.
No, you're a main tank. That means you're the most handsome player in your team and you're the smartest person in
That's
your team.
true.
Yeah, but according to Callie, I'm a sad shadow of a man.
But is Callie a main tank?
Callie's a retard. That's what he is.
Well, he's not a main tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
There
not
you
a main
go.
tank.
He must be wrong.
Yeah. What you need
He's a filthy widow one trick.
what everyone that plays Overwatch needs to remember is unless you're a main tank, your opinion doesn't matter.
Exactly.
100% true.
Yep. I feel like the conversation ended there because there was nothing more to add. Like,
That is pretty much
end the
it.
cast, end Overwatch. We've established what's most important.
I'll call Blizzard, let them know they can pull the game offline.
Yeah, the Overwatch League can end now.
We've solved it. We've solved the puzzle.
Yeah, I don't know if
No,
you've
but,
noticed, by the way, as well. Paris have actually released their name and their logo.
Oh!
Yes. So, I don't know if you've ever seen the rugby or football jerseys that France tend to wear, but they always have a rooster, because a rooster seems to be the national symbol for France. I'm not entirely sure why, but it's their proud emblem, and they're quite happy with it. And their team is the Paris Eternal,
Oh,
which does, however, mean that they're the Eternal Cocks.
What?
a rooster.
Now, I'm sure there was a reason for that name choice. Like, there had to have been, right? No one just picks a name.
Well, according to their
Eternal?
marketing, it's the Eternal.
And that rooster?
Yep, that rooster.
It's
It
even a
kind of
tad
makes
small.
sense because it's like in New Zealand. Like France has the same sort of thing as New Zealand. In France, all their sporting teams have the rooster or the cockerel as their main thing. And in New Zealand, because of the success of the All Blacks, who are the most successful sporting franchise of any sport ever, all their other teams are the something blacks. So, like, their female rugby team is the Black Ferns. They have a badminton team called the Black Cocks.
I was wondering when we were going to get to that one. that just seemed inevitable.
Yeah, no, they did have to change it fairly soon afterwards.
Why am I not surprised?
I mean,
The thing they hit is called a shuttlecock, so, you know. It's just that we're all immature, and apparently so are the people that run the team.
oh yeah.
No wonder. You're probably the oldest here, and you're yet still the most immature.
See, I just take it as a challenge. Like, all right, you're going to bring some 12-year-old humour at me. We'll get ready for some 8-year-old humour. And I also find that if it was funny when you were in reception or kindergarten for our American listeners or casters,
Wow. I needed that.
if it's funny in kindergarten or reception, then it's funny no matter how old you are.
I find everything funny. You know, everything will make me laugh.
Yeah, like, look at Mr.
Mainly.
Bean. It doesn't even have to have words, and it's hilarious.
Mr. Bean is eternal and timeless, and anyone who says anything bad about Rowan Atkinson deserves a thrashing.
Yep.
Mr. Bean is so timeless it was part of my childhood, for God's sake.
Yeah, think about that. I'm probably the oldest the oldest person on the cast as well, aren't I? I'm generally the oldest in everything.
Really?
Threep, how old are we looking at here?
I am 29.
Oh,
Yes.
I am also 29.
What? All right, I turned 30 in March.
Ah, February.
Damn it! He's still the oldest. And with that argument settled, we start with Feline Lucky in the first push. And here we have a classic Ryan Zarya on SKR.Pink with a Junkrat Widow. A fantastic DPS combination coming out. And the Widow duel will begin with Swoon's Widow now going up against Saito. Saito's been showing some really great display of hitscan DPS play on that McCree. Let's see how that translates to the Widow. But it looks like Feline Lucky is gonna, well, take
That was the most boosted charge I've ever seen in all my. And I've had some bad charges, but that one hurt to watch.
Yeah, that was
And
wow.
it goes again.
So if Random Shadow actually stayed on the point, they would pick up a tick here. It just doesn't seem to have occurred to them that. Oh no, that's a shame. That's a shame. They had a tick right there. SKR.Pink literally gave it to them, but they simply walked away like it was nobody's business. And that's what we mean by map control versus actually winning the fight. They didn't have the fight won, but they had the point in the palm of their hand.
Yeah, and I think Sea-Dog at the very end there realised how close it was to a tick. And so went, oh, well, I'll just pop on the point there. And I'll definitely win this fight.
Ooh, just recently now switching over to the Hanzo, so we have that double sniper comp that was super popular in Overwatch League for a while before a rebalancing patch occurred. And now we have minus that... Ooh. No, there it is. Nano comes in on Deathstroke. Sea-Dog goes into the backline, but who cares? Deathstroke's Reinhardt rips apart Fish. Takar's Tire finishes off the Ana. We have a D-Mech and an utter annihilation from Mathiasaki's. Zarya just recently picks up an Ana, but who cares? That fight's over. We're moving on to the next as Feline Lucky resets.
Well, as a plus there, the Ana has quite a slow movement thing. If they can regroup and get back into this, then they're going to get back before the Ana can do anything. As she is only just getting in range of people right by the corner. She's now joined. Never mind. Ignore me.
Grandma Hall's buns, apparently, though. That was definitely Feline Lucky's miss to not rush into that point as quickly as possible, taking advantage of the fact that such a major healer and major healer denial is missing. Deathstroke's barrier gets taken down. Now they have the Diva Bomb going over the big shatter! Boom!
Oh!
Diana means nothing! 4K Diva Bomb from Sea-Dog, and that's going to be the point absolutely for Feline Lucky. Stop. Curtains, lights, turn them off. That's it. Point A on King's Row has been taken. A GG from the spectators comes out because holy moly, that was amazing.
Oh, I thought for a second that someone had screwed the pooch there by waking up Deathstroke. But still managing to get off that Earth Shatter and winning in that fight. I thought that was a perfectly placed and executed plan. That was definitely something they were building up towards because Fish was flashing his... Soon...
God damn it,
Fisher was flashing his barrier and trying to get a position up. Oh, what was Deathstroke doing there? Was he expecting Fish to suddenly get his thing?
And their car proves that Koreans aren't the only one capable of dropping huge bombs, as the Australian Junkrat from down under manages to crud out one of the best tires I've ever seen, utterly eliminating a fight. They had to spend the grav to pull it off, but that means they still have a Deadeye and a Nano boost waiting in the wings. On, however, the Feline Lucky side, they are going to come out with Dragon's Nano and a Deadeye of their own with a Shatter not too far behind. Let's see if Fish can refrain from charging backwards into the enemy line and leaving his team without the pressure shield. I definitely agree with that. And as Zoning Dragons comes out, forcing SKR.Pink into the corner. Massive anti-nade comes out. No heals for you. Big Shatter comes out. Let's see if they can get anyone out of it. Fish, of course, falls to Takar's bomb as he dives into the backline. He does pick up Zenyatta for his trouble, but no shield versus a... a tiny monk healer. I think that's a trade that's going to favor SKR.Pink as Feline Lucky pulls out.
Yep, on a plus, Sea Dog did manage to get out of that with a huge amount of percent, and going 1-for-1 trades at this point in the map is a fine thing to happen, because the walks are so favoring the attackers right now.
The Ryans are swinging away. Big shatter comes out. But then, Shatterdog, what happened? I didn't even see it. Did they both shatter at this? No, they couldn't have shattered at the same time.
Deathstroke got slept.
Ah, brilliant. Utterly brilliant on a play. That's what you want to see. A Deadeye picks up no one. Can't believe that Mercy got out of that with her wings intact. But it looks like Feline Lucky is still going to get pushed out as they can't seem to muster a cohesive attack. However, here comes a drag, but unfortunately just recently already dead and no dragons to speak of. Tiger once again. Takar with a tire once again ending the fight. That's an unfortunate name, an old combo that we're going to have to deal with.
But huge overinvestment of ults. They had the Transcendence, the Nano, the tire all come out there, and all that Feline Lucky used was a grav. So now they're looking at, just recently, almost being on that Dragons, Swoon, Fish, and a Nano just coming online. This could be really easy if Feline Lucky can win the mechanical battle. Cedo's got to be careful because he's purple to it. There we go, he's popped his bubble, so he's got back to not being purple. But Takar takes down Random Shadow, and Fish throws out a Shatter to nothing.
That was a shatter into a shield. Deathstroke counters, of course, by shattering Fish in return, because who wouldn't, as he charges in, killing him with the shatter. That's 20 seconds left for Feline Lucky to mount a defense. I'm not seeing any fast, speedy stall heroes come out. This is going to be a long walk back to the payload, and at this rate, they have 10 seconds. They will just barely get their front line up there. Yeah, if they start walking right now. I don't know what their caution is. Of course, they're going to charge in.
But yeah, Mathasaki threw out their grav there for absolutely no reason. Fish doing great taking out that tire, and he's been res back up so they could pull this back.
Charge again.
Charge does take out someone though, doesn't it? Didn't it?
Yeah,
it did. And the kills start coming in for Feline Lucky despite that trans being on the point. That's going to be all the DPS for SKR.Pink falling, with only a frantic Zenyatta managing to get himself out of there.
But using his Transcendence to get out. What was he thinking?
Massive. That's a major stalling ult. So I think SKR.Pink is going to make one final attempt at this point. They are going to have to move it though, as they stop it within 2.71 meters left.
Nano Zen.
Master Shatter! Big grab! The Fire Strike goes out! It's kills for everyone except SKR.Pink as they eliminate all the members on the cart, and that's going to be point B, pulling it from overtime, and now 1.5 minutes left to finish the map.
I think there's a possibility that Pink think that Mana is Jonak, because he used good work taking out Takar right at the very end there. But beautiful. I think they think he's maybe Jonak because he used Transcendence just to keep himself alive, and then they nanoed him in the middle of a fight.
Yeah, I really hope that nano was a miss, because while Zenyatta is definitely a source of incredible damage, it takes a very special Zenyatta to be able to really make use of a nano boost. Maybe they thought it would get him back up to trans faster, but unfortunately Deathstroke's Reinhardt is now going to fall thanks to Ana and Mercy's combined efforts. Takar's Tiger now going to come and gets eliminated by a Fire Strike again. Of all the ways to lose, a massive Shatter comes down. Doesn't matter about your trans friends. A charge is going to kill Ana all the same. Gooped up against the wall, trans ends. Deathstroke now back in the fight. Zarya charged out the wazoo. Sea Dog is bringing that beam to use. Just recently pulling out the Storm Arrow, and Jedi eliminates the Zarya and the Junkrat. SKR.Pink's members falling left and right. Only Mana left on the point as it gets pushed all the way with just a little time left to spare.
Absolutely incredible. That should not have been possible from before the S-bend in overtime all the way to the end.
I want to say that Feline Lucky definitely took every advantage that SKR.Pink offered them. I'm not going to say SKR.Pink played a good defense. They definitely held on as long as they could, but they gave Feline Lucky exactly what they needed to win, and Feline Lucky did not let that opportunity pass them by.
Yeah, and it did turn out that Mana getting nanoed was a good thing, because when that next fight started, he was at 70-80%, something like that. So he did build up a huge amount of ult charge very fast. But then he didn't pop it at quite the right time. He popped it at the right time because the shatter went down, and it almost won them the fight. But when the charge went down and someone had already been picked up and instantly eliminated, I want to say it was Mr. Caliman. It was a fight lost.
The Ana got eliminated immediately by the charge. Trans, being the incredible powerful ability that it is, does have a single drawback, and that is that it does not prevent instantaneous bursts of damage, such as charges, Diva Bombs, and Deadeyes. Now, one of the cheeky Zenyatta things you can do when you're transing to counter a charge is to get up in the Reinhardt's face and take the charge. You, as the Zenyatta, are perfectly invincible and cannot be hurt by the charge, thus saving your teammates.
So we're going to be having goats coming out here, and Feline Lucky are a bit better equipped to deal with it now because they've got the Hanzo and the Junkrat.
It's that Orisa Diva again on point A.
They really, really like this. They must have a lot of faith in it, and let's see if that faith is well placed. What was Seedog doing there, boosting down onto the point?
I think that was an attempt to get some damage into the backline, but I don't know why you spend your boost resource on that if you're not going to be diving in for a kill. Now Seadog is stranded on the point. Mathiasaki Zarya, the literal perfect counter for Diva's defense matrix, is going to demech her immediately. Both Divas get demeched. Mathiasaki now, however, does go down to Junkrat's relentless assault, and Orisa shield gets placed on the point, but this is that classic example of point control. SKR.Pink kept themselves on the point to get 2 picks, and just recently ends this fight with a tire, but in a single minute, SKR.Pink has picked up 2 ticks.
Yeah, FL should have dropped a whole lot earlier.
Seadog only needed to just step down and then use his boosters to dip, duck, dodge, dive, and dodge all around that point. You know, if he can dodge a wrench, then he could have dodged dodgeball.
And there he goes! He falls down again. He has to use his boots to get back up on the high ground. The thing goes out. There's no one on the point. They almost take the 3rd trick. A Dragons is going to come out, separating the team. That's going to be Diva separated now, and Mathiasaki falls pretty much instantaneously. Coalescence comes out to try and keep the rest of the team alive. Transcendence comes out, however, and that's going to be no major kills. Just recently built up to a tire again. That's some incredible ult generation. Once again, ending the fight by eliminating Reinhardt and then getting the Diva Gremlin as a bonus.
See, this is the major drawback of Goats, is the fact that just recently was able to build up a tire in that short span of a fight was absolutely incredible and so fight-winning.
I really like seeing now, though, that SKR.Pink has managed to refrain from using ults when probably adrenaline was running high, and some opportunities did present themselves. However, they've now banked a Shatter, Sound Barriers, and that all-powerful armor-giving rally. Meanwhile, there's the Diva Bomb about to come out, a Nano and a Dragons, but that's it. Rally comes out early, giving them that armor. Diva is staying behind the team for some reason, possibly waiting to catch something. That's going to leave them in a bad position to catch that Dragons, which is ultimately wasted by going down into the point, catching no one at all. The Diva Bomb's now going to go up on the point. Let's see if Reinhardt learned his lesson. He did not, or rather, it's more to say that Saito was way out of position, getting caught by the Diva Bomb, just recently picks up a Lucio kill, builds to a tire again. The man is absolutely unstoppable, eliminating now Deathstroke's Reinhardt. We are currently looking at a 2-tick full hold. SKR.Pink can definitely take this point, but they need to pull that Shatter out at some point in time.
Yeah, it's holding on to it for too long, way too long. You can build it back up very fast.
But Saito taken just recently out in the air as he tried to jump himself back up onto the high ground.
Enormous. See, it seems they have abandoned now the purest of Goats comps, leaving everyone out of Goats, still in Goats rather, except for Saito and the Widowmaker, who is now going to be getting some damage right into that line of fire. Seadog, protected now by a shield, can't be hit by Widow. Swoon on the... Oh god, big Diva Bomb comes out! Who's it gonna catch? Absolutely no one, but that's gonna be all the kills I think SKR.Pink needs as Reinhardt goes crazy. Saito now counters that tire perfectly. That's gonna be the point with 30 seconds left. Excellent switch from SKR.Pink.
Saito in the clutchest of clutch plays. He took out just recently at the start there. He got 2 or 3 picks throughout that fight, and he took down that tire right in the middle there that could have been game ending for SKR.Pink. Absolutely brilliant work from Saito. He's almost at Infra's site after just the one fight. He has it now.
That was the absolute best pick that could have possibly come out. They kept all their goats comp, except they switched Saito over to the Widowmaker. Like you said, that let them get one of their crucial damage dealers from Feline Lucky out of the fight almost immediately. However, this time, a Zarya bubble is going to prevent Saito from eliminating that Junkrat early on. They are going to start pushing the cart down past the S-bend. Big Shatter goes out. Orisa manages to dodge it. Dragons come out as a counter. However, Deathstroke charges right through it, eliminating the Hanzo, being kept alive by the Coalescence in the one situation where it is acceptable for the Reinhardt to go into the backline with a healing beam that transcends time, space, and shields. No defense matrix can stop it. Only a Zarya bubble can prevent it, but oh wait, Zarya is doing the favor and keeping everyone alive. It's all over for Feline Lucky. Point B gets taken with Neria. How do you do? 3 minutes and 11 seconds. They've actually gained some time now on the push, and the snowball continues as Saito continues to flex that Widowmaker, eliminating Sea Dog, preventing them from building that crucial grav charge. A trans and Nano gets eliminated. Shadow, Big Grav comes out, the Tyrant comes out, and it pops before it's able to do anything. Fish does manage to pick up Deathstroke, but Saito is just going out of control. Headshots left and right. Now, without their main tank, this is going to be difficult to finish this push, and it looks like Swoon now switching over to the Mei is going to create a lot of problems, but Saito continues to cause problems, crushing that Zenyatta. Now, a Mei wall is going to keep them in a bit of a pickle as Fish's Reinhardt goes to town. Sound barriers come out though, keeping everyone alive. Just recently switches onto the Widow now, winning the duel immediately against Saito, who definitely wasn't expecting Widow to come out. Now Anti-Nade comes out on a backline. That lets Fish eliminate the Lucio, but he gets immediately countered by Deathstroke's charge. The Moira on Mr. Caliman doing the work that they needed them to do with healing and damage. This could be the final push for SKR.Pink. Massive grav comes out from Sea Dog on the Zarya, and that's going to be a fight ender. There you go. With main tank on, Saito's hanging out just to try and get a few more picks. However, Swoon is going to give them a little bit of a what for, forcing them back, and that is finally the end of a push from SKR.Pink.
And finally, someone did something about Saito there, because, you know, it was completely uncontested. Just recently, he popped his, when he's still on Junkrat, he popped his ult in the complete open, didn't even try and get into cover, and... Sorry, just switching over to Saito's perspective so we can see what the hell's happening here with him. Oh, picking off Cat, that's really unfortunate. Just recently with the clutch hit.
Unbelievable! Calm, concise, really just everything I'd love to see in a Widowmaker. Saito had taken that high ground and tried to take a shot on Just Recently, and Just Recently countered perfectly. However, SKR.Pink has decided they're having none of that, and they're almost going to push this point to completion. A charge goes out. It does catch Mathiasaki. I have no idea how that bubble is countered. Major Mayalt! This is what we were looking for on Volskaya. Everyone's frozen. The damage isn't there, though. The Moira goes down, but that was Saito's chance to take out Swoon. Random Shadow does get the DMAC. A Grav gets thrown out, and nothing happens! Unbelievable! I don't know what they were trying to do with that, but it doesn't catch anyone in it, and no kills as a result. However, SKR.Pink seems, nah, that's fine. They're just going to kill everyone else. And now it's just a Fish on the Wrecking Ball, who is now going to do a great job. I was going to say killing a lot of people, but then Big Shatter comes out and catches Swoon, and now they have the DMAC. It's kill after kill coming in for SKR.Pink. Feline Lucky needs to stabilize, get some kill. Start with the Zenyatta, start with something flashy, anything. But damage continues to come in from Saito. They built up to sites again. They've killed everyone on the point. They're pushing it to go. They have not finished faster than Feline Lucky, but they did finish. That's exactly what they needed to happen, and they will start now with a minute 7 left on the clock.
To be fair, that was great stall coming out from Feline Lucky. They were down at least one player, if not 2 or 3, from when it came around that final bend and went onto the straight. So, incredible work to just stall it out for as long as they did, because I think it was a solid 2 minutes trying to get to that last bit. But something needs to be done about Saito.
Yeah. I really definitely appreciate Just Recently's calm in the face of that Widow duel. I managed to spectate him while he had dropped down to the low ground. Saito took a pot shot at him, and Just Recently, very calmly, swung up to his head, clicked it, and moved on, and it was absolutely brilliant to watch. But in a trade, that meant that just recently was not in a very good position at that time to assist the rest of his team. He had to spend time getting back up to high ground, and in the process, SKR.Pink had managed to turn the tide of that fight.
And Mana was doing brilliant work in that, because he took out just recently when he came out of spawn. He stayed alive for 99% of that, and incredible Zenyatta play. You know, and maybe he is the Jonak of this level.
This is definitely going to prove it. They are sticking to that Zenyatta. They're going for a very no, it's not standard at all. It's a Rein D.Va Zarya push led by a Moira and a Zenny with only Saito on DPS. This is going to depend on Saito's ability to click those heads. Where is he setting up? He's setting up right on the head of that Odell, but Deathstroke falls. This pushes over. They need to get out now.
Great work from Swoon coming out. Swoon is a really, really good Mei. So irritating to play against. And,
exactly the kind of Mei that I hate.
Yeah. You know, it's...
I can agree on that one.
You know, we're seeing them in red right now on my screen, and that's the only time I've ever seen a good Mei is when they're in red.
That's a good point. And now we look at Fish, who's already built up 70% of his shatter to Deathstroke's only... never mind, Deathstroke has found himself a room to play in, but he gets ripped apart immediately. The rest of SKR.Pink move to the point out of necessity. They find the kill on Fish. That's both main tanks down. It's now going to depend on the Zaryas to keep their teams alive long enough for healing to come in. If Saito doesn't start... Now Tiger has actually switched over to the Widowmaker, leaving Saito onto the Junkrat. The Moira falls. Kills now onto Feline Lucky are huge, as that is an immense walk to have to come back from, but Saito's Junkrat falls. Now it's Cat just recently and Swoon. Big kills coming out, however, the Mei ult comes. That's freezing everyone. The kills are not there, however. Massive Shatter then comes out to follow, but Random Shadow. It's Random Shadow coming out on the Moira, killing Mana, killing Zarya. And now, all they need to do is clear SKR.Pink off the point, and that's not going to be a single tick for them. Overtime ends as quickly as it started. Tikar not able to get onto the point, and that is going to be a complete hold from Feline Lucky.
Brilliant
well played
work from Swoon there, and from Feline Lucky as a whole. They were holding on to that by the skin of their teeth. It was so close. If Swoon had been killed even half a second earlier, even a quarter of a second earlier, then he wouldn't have been able to throw that little, what was it that we saw in the main thing? It was like it was like a little energy pack thing that shoots out the blizzard. I don't know quite what it was in the cinematic.
Right. It's Snowball.
Snowball, yeah. Just managed to throw that out there, and it just in time throws the only people on the point. And you saw Sea-Dog just go, oh crap, who do I go for? Who do I go for? The healer. The healer. Kill the healer.
Yep.
Took the healer out, and then it allowed Fish to get up his charge or get his cooldown back for the charge to hit into Mathasaki, and then it was just a matter of time before the Deathstroke fell, because in that situation there's nothing a Reinhardt can do and win, because if you keep your shield up, then you're going to die. If you swing, you're going to die even faster.
It's a lesson to be learned from Volskaya, where Swoon did fall before they were able to pull out that Mei ult. Very excellent to see them using it just before they realized they were going to fall. And now they are going to get one final chance on point A on Kings Row. They only need a third. Definitely possible. Let's see how they pull it off. Just recently lending some shield cover to Fish, and now they suddenly rotate into the hotel instead of going center as planned. This is going to be a Reinhardt's playground as the hammers go swinging away. Lots of healing coming out from both the Moiras. Discord now on the Fish. A troll the charge! Deathstroke catches Brigitte, and they do fall, but Mana then picks up the Zarya. And now kills are going to start coming in from SKR.Pink, but Fish eliminates Deathstroke. Both Reinhardts now down. The rest of Feline Lucky anti-nated, and Shadow is going to try and get out of there as quickly as possible. Sea-Dog is going to be best served by running back to spawn. If not dying, then switching off D.Va as quickly as they possibly can.
Yeah. Oh, I need a pause.
We have a Mana disconnecting from the game with only 8 seconds left to go. If this were comp, someone would be very happy. Thank God this is a scrim for SKR.Pink. We can pause the game and get them time to get back in. I hope Cat's speed boost is up. They are going to need it.
It looks like fish... Oh, no. Never mind. I thought that was 2 messages from Swoon there saying that fish is a way to piss, but no, it's Saito saying they can crash. So Saito's saying, to be fair to them, STK.Pink are saying, let's carry on playing. We won't... we can try without. But then people are saying, no, don't worry, sure, no problem. Sea-Dog is asking how everyone's day is going. Yeah, and something we didn't get a chance to say is that they're actually running a Torbjorn and a Farah. That Farah has managed to build up a barrage, and they've almost built towards a Shatter. They are wanting to continue without their... Was it a Zen that Mana was on?
A Zenyatta, yes.
Sea-Dog is in the middle of switching between the Diva mini form and going to an Orisa and then back. I think it's going to be a little bit too late because there is only 7 seconds. So they're going to have to say... they're going to have to move over quick.
Should be interesting. Just last 8 seconds.
Yeah, of all the times to be caught with a 5-person hold on King's Row, I'd like to say that with 7 seconds left, that's not really too much time to have to pull it off on.
Plus, to be fair to them, they're winning 2-1 or 2-0 so far. So they're probably thinking that maybe she can come back in time. If not, they can hopefully hold. They do have the ultimates to do it. You're looking at almost the Shatter, a Coalescence, and that's it. They're not going to get anything else off in time.
Oh,
and there we go.
It
looks like Speed Boost was online, and they are going to go right to the point. Coalescence coming out.
Oh,
Big Shatter coming out. That's going to be pretty much it. I'm glad that they decided to go anyways, because the Zenyatta would not have been able to help too much with the Shatter Barrage combo.
Yeah, no, to be fair, there was nothing that could have happened to help them there, because that was just bang, 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 instantaneous. Fish's charge there was really good. Managed to catch up Mathasaki. I think the bubbles still did count for us, count and negate that damage, but the motion of moving past and damaging people as they went past gave them the extra 8% ult charge to get off that Shatter and to instantly just go BAM! Which
that was extremely
is what
clutch.
won them that fight.
I do want to state for the record, I know we've already started memeing about Fish charging into the backline.
Oh, no, I'm going to keep memeing.
But blocking 41k plus damage is also a feat. A bit of a...
See, that's the thing with Fish. He either shielded or swung. There was never a middle ground.
Isn't that a Reinhardt's life? Either you swing or you shield.
Well, I mean, he didn't balance it out very well.
Alright.
They did play almost the maximum amount of Overwatch you can play on that map, so
yeah,
I guess to be fair, that number could have been even higher.
So, what are we thinking after that round? Standout performances.
Saito on the Widow. I know SKR.Pink didn't pull it out, but good lord, the man popped off.
And he did try so very hard. And got so very close to pulling it back for his team. But it wasn't to be.
Yeah, it was a very, very good push at the end there.
I'm just gonna have to make a quick announcement. If Fish does watch this, unbind charge.
Are you trying to recruit him or giving him advice?
Yes.
I'm definitely giving him advice.
And to be fair, there has been some fairly suspect charges coming out from both Rhines. Deathstroke has definitely been coming off the worst from it, and it's a credit to SKR.Pink that they have managed to win these fights as often as they have, considering how aggressive their main tank has been.
There was actually one thing that I noticed, and I want to mention this before I forget. There was an instance on Feline Lucky's push when SKR.Pink was mounting their defense. They were coming around that first choke point at the shop, and Deathstroke got bubbled by Zarya, like you do.
Mm-hmm.
But he kept his shield up. He actually kind of retreated a little. And then, almost as if it had finally occurred, yes, I have the bubble. He dropped the shield and started to swing, but at that point, bubble had ended. It's that kind of coordination between a Rhine and a Zarya that has to be absolutely on point to make sure that Zarya can get as much charge on her beam and, by extension, on her grav as possible for her to let Reinhardt know, hey, buddy, bubble's coming up, it's going on in 3, and then dropping the bubble. And then Reinhardt realizing, hey, I've been bubbled. I need to start swinging for the hills and make sure that Zarya of mine gets some charge. Also, I'm invincible! Who doesn't want to be invincible as Reinhardt?
Yeah, no, it's definitely coming down to, I think, a communication issue there, because it should have been, okay, you're about to get the bubble, and you got bubble, go, go, go. Because no Rhine will say no to, hey, I can freely drop this shield and feel like I'm a useful member of society by crushing puny DPS with my massive hammer.
You're talking my language, Wonder.
Oh.
That's the good stuff.
Nothing like a well-timed bubble. You just go in there, rack up huge amount of charge. Oh.
Yeah, and it's no one dislikes it. It's beneficial to everyone involved. You know, the Zarya gets more DPS. The Rhine gets to get some ult charge. And it just seems unfortunate they're not able to quite get that across. But Mathasaki's been having a fairly good game on the Zaryas so far.
Mm-hmm. I don't think definitely that Mathiasaki should be disappointed in their Zarya performance. I mean, in so much as, again, you know, it was a hard-fought loss, and they didn't make it out on top, but I was definitely not unimpressed with their performance.
So, who do you think are the standout performers of both teams so far? In a good way. In a good way.
Come back to me in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
I do think the Annas, and I believe it was Shadow. I'm feeling lucky.
Random Shadow has been playing the Anna, I believe, and it's been hat on the Lucio.
There were some beautiful anti-nades coming out that, again, if you can manage to get that anti on the Reinhardt, that is your go signal. And that really does decide fights.
Yeah, and is it Mr. Caliman who's been the Anna? Oh, they've been Moira most of the time, actually. What am I on about?
I think it actually has been Mana when they did pull out the Ana.
So Mana is the Ana, and also the Zenyatta. That makes sense.
So I definitely like the Ana play on both sides. I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately, but when you have that tank fight going down and one tank gets healing and the other tank doesn't get healing, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no. Swoon is being really frustrating because he's been so good at so many times and so clutch, and then other times he's just been completely nameless. Like, you wouldn't know he's there.
I just arrived back. What have I missed?
Hooray!
Oh, you dropped out, did you?
Yeah.
I was just saying that Swoon has been really frustrating to watch because at times he's absolutely spectacular. He's brilliant. But then at other times, it's like, come on, do something. Actually hit people, come on.
Yeah, it's probably just one of them days.
Yeah. But Takara and Saito have been really consistent. Saito seems to be having better peaks of when he's been popping off. He's been popping off hard. Whereas Takara seems to be just a steady ticking over. I'm regularly doing damage. Hey, I've got a tire. Let's just casually get 2 or 3 kills here.
Takara's ability to end fights at will with that tire was really impressive to watch, and it definitely wasn't until that switch came out onto the Widowmaker that they were able to finally shut that tire down, and the rat himself picking them off. Well, that was actually, sorry, Saito, but again, once that Widowmaker came out, that was the first time a tire got unleashed and didn't result in basically a fight-winning series of picks.
Yeah, and just recently on their defense was hugely clutch. He was putting in so much damage, managing to get off 3 tires in that short amount of time. In, what was it, in 2 fights he got off 3 tires?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he built that ult charge just so incredibly quickly. Like you mentioned earlier during the thick of the moment, having a Goats comp run into a Junkrat is a problem. Junkrat is one of the best counters to Goats because his mines just get so much damage in there. He builds ult so quickly, and it was literally demonstrated. He gets tire very fast, and then he ends the fight.
Yeah, and the only thing they have that can consistently take down a tire is a Reinhardt Fire Strike. And as I should mention for viewers that you've probably not picked up on this, but we've all played a fair amount of main tank. There's no bias here. But it can be so inconsistent. You have one shot, one opportunity, mum spaghetti, to make that happen. And if you don't hit that fire strike on the tire, then your team is screwed.
And he did it twice in a row.
Yeah. So great.
That's insane. I was impressed. I mean, as a fellow Reinhardt player, that just unbelievable.
And the added, but maybe not quantifiable benefit of that is that as soon as you hit that tire as a Reinhardt with your fire strike, you just started going, yes! I'm so awesome! Bow before me, mere mortals!
It's true. You get more. You feel more knightly, more prouder, I should say.
Yeah, you know, as Arnold Schwarzenegger said in Pumping Iron, you get that pump on, you get that blood going through every single inch of your body, and suddenly those inches feel a lot longer. And you suddenly start swinging your hammer with so much more confidence.
I think Feline Lucky's going for boop comp.
Yep. So, to anyone who hasn't watched this, a cast that we did 2 days ago, Feline Lucky had an absolutely immense defense. Less said about their attack, the better, because it only went 45 meters. But
I kept dropping out of that map.
Their defense was huge. They managed to hold a 45 meter push and win. Absolutely clutch. I should get my hands back on the mouse and keyboard so that I can continue doing this.
But now we see SKR.Pink doing the perfect counter to Boop Comp, simply avoiding the main bridge entirely, cutting off all angles of sight, and taking that bridge to the left to make this a team fight up close and personal. And they are going to be, looks like they are running a purest of Goats comp into this. That is exactly what needed to happen. Mana's Lucio has been sent back to the point. 2 picks early on for the Goats comp, now eliminating the Junkrat as well. They have pushed back Feline Lucky completely, with only Swoon's Roadhog making one final defense at that point A barrier. They've set up a shield, they've drawn a line on the sand, so to speak. Swoon does manage to hook Mayasaki into the lake. Sea-Dog picks up the Moira, and now it's a game, ladies and gentlemen, as they remount their defense and are starting to take control of the cart back, as Deathstroke also falls, leaving them without that tasty shield.
Yeah, and I was going to question just recently there, because when he was retreating and trying to get back towards the archers, instead of going towards them, he went right instead of left. Or left instead of right. And he just went away from the archers, yeah. He was not making that serpentine movement. He was pulling a bit of a Rick on Stark and just going straight.
Ouch. Ouch. Oh! Diva Bomb starts this fight off with a death to Lucio. Cat falls, but however, just recently Styre manages to find their own Lucio. A Diva Bomb flies into the air, falls to the midair, does absolutely nothing. Coalescence comes out, not really sure why. Not a lot of damage coming in from Feline Lucky either way. I guess they're trying to get some damage down onto that Diva, who is, frankly, just doing fine, thank you. And then Shatter goes down, nothing happens as it went right onto Orissa's shield, catching no one. And Hog is now free to launch his ult into the air as Sea Dog, just wreaks havoc.
That was all Fish there. That was so clutch.
And that was
Fish
amazing.
shot out his sucky, and it just pulled back the Reinhardt Deathstroke in front of his shield. So when he popped his shatter, it just pulled him back away from it. And he was helpless but to look, with his hammer raised up above his head, ready to slam against the earth and annihilate his team, the enemy team. But then he was helpless but to look at an Orisa shield in front of him and go, oh, this is going to do nothing. This is going to go so little. Oh no. So brilliant from Fish. Absolutely incredible.
It's not the Shatter defense you usually see, and it's definitely not the Shatter defense you deserve, but boy is it the Shatter defense you want. And now the Orisa damage booster comes out, and we are going to start looking at major damage coming out. However, the Coalescence comes out into the ground. That's going to be a lot of damage. Ananade manages to try and top them up, but that's going to catch the Diva, the Junkrat, the Lucio, Gremlin Diva. They do end their damage early, and wow, that is almost a complete wipe from onto Feline Lucky, as only Ana remains. I don't think they're going to be able to mount. Swoon on the Roadhog! He comes back! Is he going to be able to get there? No! He gets there just in time as the cart also arrives at point A. And now Feline Lucky is caught with their pants down in the, quote, bad spawn. As now, SKR.Pink has free reign to shoot rockets down upon them, hopefully not giving them too much ult charge. Jumping into the river may have been the better option here.
FL just got to back up behind the corner. That's all they can do now.
Yeah, and Sea Dog coming out with his... not the best block there, but yeah, I was going to say that Swoon came out pretty big there. Not Swoon, Sea Dog came out pretty big there with that delaying self-destruct. But unfortunately, it wasn't able to do what he wanted it to, of getting the team to look in the opposite direction, getting the Rhine to look in the other direction, while the rest of his team do something to that Rhine's back.
I definitely appreciated the effort. It's a rough situation to be in when half your team is caught in the quote-unquote bad spawn, which is the spawn that should have been for your previous point. Barrage comes out from Saito! Woof! That's going to be a Hanzo going down. They managed to find the DMAC and the Lucio. Coalescence now comes out. I don't think that was absolutely necessary, as Saito seemed to be just perfectly capable of ripping apart everyone with Mercy's help. And
That was dirty.
That's the next point taken without so much of a fanfare from Feline Lucky, as kind of a soft meow.
Yeah, and that's what can happen if you get the bad spawns. You're not able to put up a solid defense, and when you don't go together as a team, you can just get steamrolled in that 5v6, and it can rapidly fall apart, which it did, and then it just carries on going as you try and drip feed players into there.
Ooh,
I like that from Cat, managed to stop that, but...
Shatters go out. One is absorbed by a shield, the other one catches 4, but nothing happens anyways. Swoon manages to find the Mercy. Wow, that's a lot of kills from Feline Lucky. Holy moly, just recently finding the tire. And 2 of them. Perfect Hanzo play.
Just recently coming up so big there, he took down 2 people and stopped that tire that could have swung it back in the other direction to keep the ball rolling. But
I think
strangely, I was about to criticize Fish for their shatter because he completely missed everyone. But what he did do was buy time. You know, when you shatter, people are only down for 2.5 seconds, which is the longest 2.5 seconds of your life if you're on the ground.
Saito gets the shatter again from behind, but this time they were ready for it. It doesn't catch anyone. Swoon manages to pick up the kill. Takar gets revenge on Fish, but those are the only kills coming out so far with an ult. And now Coalescence comes out once again. That's going to be a D-Mech on the Diva. Lucio falls to Mathiasaki Zarya, and Mr. Kaliman's chasing people, looking for someone to shoot with that big freaking laser. They're not going to find anyone. And now, however, the payload is going to start moving into the final. Deathstroke charges into a pillar. Major, dragons coming out to the point that shocked a bodily function out of me. I was so surprised. Fish almost, Deathstroke almost getting taken out, having been naded and reduced to less than 50% health, but he is going to survive long enough to fire strike Swoon, but not before Swoon will take out Azaria. Cat gets hacked, summarily executed.
And he just tried to pop his ult.
Yeah, that was rough. That's no sound barriers to protect against this tire, which is going to come out. It's going underground. Where's it going to go? Nobody knows. It comes out. It gets eliminated by a fire strike once again. Oh, good lord. The man is an absolute deadeye when it comes to hitting those tires with fire strikes.
Maybe not with players, as we just saw there, but with... But with tires, I'll take hitting tires over people any day of the week.
Ooh, Saito gets caught by Swoon in the backline, presumably trying to go for a cheeky Sombra flank. That is going to be a Sombra flank that's short-lived. Now with 25 seconds left, a Zenyatta on Mana's coming back from the backline. Saito's going to stick with that Sombra, probably hoping to get some clutch hacks to push this point to the victory. They have pretty much one more extended push. Mathiasaki's Wrecking Ball manages to catch a lot of people on that. That's some decent ult charge. He's quarter away to his mines. He's going to come charging into the backline. Deadeye goes out. Hasn't caught anyone yet. And there's a big shatter. It catches Cat in the backline, but ultimately nothing really happens. Tracer is now going to throw out a bomb. Not going to catch anything. Big shatter.
Fish!
Deathstroke gets anti-nated. That's going to be it with the help from Ana. Fish kills 3. Just recently picks up the kill on Sombra. Poor Mana Zenyatta. All that's left on the cart. Overtime now ticking down. There's no answer from SKR.Pink. That's no answer from... Yeah, Pink. I got it right.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was incredible stalling there from Mana to stay on the point as long as he did, or if that was some... absolutely incredibly bad aim from the rest of the team as they all went, "Aah!" But good work from him at the end there. And just recently, he did whiff that pulse bomb. But what he did do is he snuck around the back and he managed to put some shots onto Mana, and it scared him enough to instantly pop that trance. And he wasn't able to use it in a more advantageous position. So... good work from just recently there. Incredible work from Fish. And the rest of the team just keeping that going. Great from everyone. So, that was a bit of a whirlwind map where it felt like the fight never really stopped. Feline Lucky spent so much time trickling in and so... very, very much time doing absolutely nothing because of that and getting steamrolled, that it didn't feel like SKR.Pink ever stopped their push up until when they really stopped the push.
It's definitely a difficult position to push onto that final point when you have so much waiting for you in that little choke, and they just weren't able to put the damage in. Now we're going to see the answering push from Feline Lucky. They have begun. It looks like they are going to march right up the middle into a very solid loop comp. Nothing pulled off yet. Swoon! Look at Swoon coming around the backline, setting up with that. Oh, but they found him before they could get it. He picks. Oh, that could have been the cheekiest flank ever. Instead, he gets eliminated by 2 healers and an angry hog as Deathstroke Orisa pulls a Reinhardt into the canal, sleeping with the fishes, and that's going to be a dead push. Cat on the Mercy now, presumably to try and keep that Pharah topped up, boosted up, and ready to kill. Fish now, with his own little Discord orb, managed to get that before the shield went up, is going to try once again and take this middle. I don't think it's going to be a happy experience for him, because unless he's bubbled, that Orisa Halt is going to pull him right into the canal again. Ooh, Ooh, but it goes out early. Misses the Sea Dog, and that's his opportunity to charge in. He gets trapped immediately, and Takar manages to find Random Shadow on the Ana. However, that is not going to stop Feline Lucky's charge. But that might, as a trap kills Fish. Ooh, just recently finds Takar. They are going to set up here. It's only a 6v4, 5v4. But they are going to be stalled here. Now, having taken the bridge, they have a better time getting across the point. Fish is going to use this charge to make doubly sure that he manages to get across. He's going to fling a Fire Strike, bubbled up. He goes swinging for the fences. However, there's a lot of healing. It catches the backline. There's no follow-up, but that does keep them from putting healing on the tanks, and that's exactly what they wanted. Deathstroke and Mathiasaki fall very quickly. Junkrat manages to take Fish out. He gets rezzed immediately, and that is going to be a very solid push from Feline Lucky.
Really, really good shatter there coming out from Fish. Just completely annihilating the line. And that's one of the problems with playing Orisa is because your shield just sits there, there's nothing you can do once it goes. And if you haven't got it up off a cooldown. Is this Tiger going to be able to do anything? Is Fish going to pull off the Wonder? He does not, but Swoon takes it out.
Just recently now finds Mana. This is another situation. Wow! That's not what you wanted to have happen at all, was it? But with your Pharah dying, there's nowhere left for you to Guardian Angel to. They're trading kills left and right, but it is going to be mostly a stalled push now as SKR.Pink sets up quite solidly on this first turn. They are going to continue pushing the card around. Again, the advantage of that. Reinhardt gets the shatter into the backline. This time, the follow-up is there with Ana falling immediately. Mana gets back up off the ground after that 2.5 seconds and rips out the Transcendence immediately. That might be what they needed. But a barrage on the backline finds Mana immediately. He gets taken out for it, but that could be the healing that they needed. As now the tanks fall, and it's only Takar on the McCree, and he falls to his cowboy partner. This town of Rialto was not big enough for the two of them, and Feline Lucky is going to finish this push as they quickly mop up the rest of SKR.Pink.
Yeah, and Saito was hiding out in the back line, but he got spotted straight away by Fish, and with just a casual swing of his hammer to launch a Fire Strike, he just ended Saito's dreams of stalling the pointer out to let the team regroup.
I'm really liking this push coming out from Feline Lucky. They continue to have ults. They are snowballing perfectly. The cart almost hasn't stopped since that first initial failed offensive, but they did manage to push the cart back, and once they got it past that bridge, it kept moving. Deadeye now comes out. Grav comes out. It is going to pick up the Zarya as the shield falls, and then despite being nanoed, Deathstroke does get murdered. Sea Dog does fall to the Takar, and Erez gets stopped by the stun, and then he picks up the cat. Mercy as well. They are going to try and get a little more on that cart, and they are going to wisely pull a retreat as too many healers now, especially with Shadow's death. And it looks like Fish tried to save his compatriot, but he gets naded. He might be able to get out of there alive. Wow. Excellent retreat.
Yeah, just get out of that. If Deathstroke had saved his Fire Strike for when he had a clear line of sight on Fish there, that would have been a massive pause for this. Well, no, not massive, 10 seconds, you know.
I mean, with 3 minutes and 46 seconds left, I think SKR.Pink is going to get whatever second they can. They now have a Junkrat hurling bombs into that shield as much as they possibly can, just to try and reduce Fish's tanking potential before he even gets to the fight. And that's a common mistake that a lot of Reinhardts make. They leave. Ooh, just recently falls to Mana, who exercises. And there it is! Fire Strike eliminating a tire, stopping that fight-ending ult from doing its damage. But Fish has now lost his shield. That's a huge problem for Reinhardts because there that big shatter comes out. A Deadeye comes out, and again, not really necessary. After that shatter, that was pretty. The follow-up was there. Everyone was dead that needed to be dead. I appreciate the zeal, so to speak.
Yeah, it's super questionable, definitely. He could have saved it to maybe use it now, when there's no Rhine shields near anything. And it's just super frustrating to see. It's just sort of a waste of an ult. That, you know, Deadeye is not the most useful. It can always... It can sometimes feel like it's, you know, it's a bit of an instant death. It's press Q to die. But,
yeah.
You know, if he could have maybe made a better use of it, and it's kind of really frustrating to see. Come on! Takar, you better
now
than this.
Fish charging and picks. Oh, but the Deathstroke gets bubbled. Massive nade comes out. Humongous shatter. Are they going to remember to kill Deathstroke? They do. Sea Dog picks up the quick kill. A trance comes out. Unfortunately, the nade has worn off. Fish is very antied right now. He is going to survive, and a nano comes out onto him. No healing benefit thanks to the anti, but now a Diva Bomb goes out deep into the backline. It catches no one. Unbelievable. The angles must have been perfect on those columns. Sea Dog using a defense matrix to cover the damage coming in on that grav. They managed to get no one and instead pick up Mathiasaki. They are now going to fight for this last bit of time. They can finish this match. That's going to be Instead, they don't manage to get back on the point. SKR.Pink and Feline Lucky wins Rialto. Unbelievable, making it 2-2.
Absolutely huge there. And, just completely forgot his name. Mr. Miyagi there that was playing Anna. He completely missed the target that he was going for. He went to try and hit Deathstroke with his ultimate, with the nano boost, but he accidentally got it onto Takar. And Takar was antied at the time, so he didn't get any health regen from it. So he was just backing out the way and just ducked around the corner. And Fish coming out, showing that he was having a big game there with his 20-something% of damage done. But, that was a big game coming out from Fish.
Extremely intense, and I really, really, really like his decision in this one, except for there were a couple points where I would have preferred to see him not using his shield so frequently, allowing a Junkrat to take it down before the fight had even started. Ryan's shield is a very valuable resource, and your healers could also use some of that charge. Unless the enemy team has a sniper.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, Saito was popping off pretty heavily there on the McCree there for a bit. You can drop your shield or do the ever so popular shield jumping and use some of your armor as your tanking capability. Meanwhile, your healers will keep you topped up, and that way you can save that precious 2000 HP, which depletes a lot faster than you think it would for the actual fight.
Yeah, absolutely massive. I have just asked for a quick delay because I really badly need to go to the toilet. You know, who'd have thought drinking half a bottle of rum would make that happen? But
that'll do it.
That has happened. Bear. Rum talking. Be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Hopefully come up with something interesting and insightful.
Zulu,
tell us about the... I'm not a mean person, am I?
No, I'm only joking. You're mild.
You're like, less like Vindaloo, more like butter chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
I prefer to think of myself as more of a chicken tikka masala kind of guy.
With a vape stuck right in the middle.
I'm well loved by everyone in Britain. Anyway, go back.
So, as you were saying, or was it Wanda who said my name?
It was me.
No, so... Wait, no! I am...
Jesus Christ.
Well, Zulu, on Lijiang Tower, which is actually my favorite control map, I don't always play the Reinhardt, actually. I tend to flex over to the off-tank. I've recently been enjoying the Winston.
See, yeah, I do play Winston on Gardens, I think it is, or the one where you've got the bridges.
Yep.
But yeah, I do play Rhine for Control Center and
yes,
what do you call it? Night Market.
Right. Control Center Rhine is practically required. It's such an amazing Reinhardt control point.
Literally just goats, honestly, on that map. Basically Rhine Zarya. It's what you want to go, or try to go for every map, every push anyway. So, and
then you get that lovely full court press, so to speak. You don't even have to go right up to the other spawn. You just kind of sit there at the door, and then you have your grav, you have your shatter, you just have everything at your disposal. Running into that can be one of the most frustrating experiences if you can't get your team to take one of the side routes. And you get stuck the whole game, and you get full. It's not like it's happened to me or anything. I wouldn't know anything about that. It's been a few rough days. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Alrighty, back. Something I noticed you say there, Threep, is you said, I tend to switch to the off tank on Lijiang, I play Winston.
Didn't mean to say off tank.
Okay, I was going to say, because it's something I've been seeing a lot on ladder recently, is a Rhine-Winston combination.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot as well.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been the increased usage of Ana just enabling to run 2 main tanks and enabling that double option of massive potential for nano boosts, or it's been because of the Widow prevalence that's been happening for the last couple of seasons, where everyone, even if they're a bronze, has decided that they're a Widow main, and they've watched a couple of games of the Overwatch League, and so they think they can click heads. But yeah, no, Winston has been coming out so much more as an off-tank, and Winston Rhine coming out so much more. I didn't know if that was what you were doing, but evidently not, because you instantly went, nope!
I've noticed about their specific map choices. Looks like they're gearing up for the Warp EU Showdown again, because they played the exact set of maps.
Yeah, I think it has been. And that's not a bad idea, because Feline Lucky, if there has to be a very specific set of circumstances for Feline Lucky to get to the grand finals. Unbind Charge are guaranteed to be one of the winners. But
up the UC!
If Feline Lucky 4-0 Abusement Park, and if Unbind Charge 4-0
Cannon Fodder,
I'll
give Feline Lucky a ticket to the finals, where I'll be more than happy to meet them again.
And yeah, that could be the most incredible redemption story and reverse sweep of Feline Lucky's career if they manage to come back to that and then absolutely crush Unbind Charge.
You know, if they crushed us, I would uninstall, leave the team, leave all.
Damn.
Because that just no.
I and everyone in Feline and everyone in AWP would love it. It would be great.
Well, I mean, Cannon Fodder nearly choked the Feline Lucky, so what can you do?
Was it choking, or was it the fact that Swoon popped off so hard for so long that Bullet was barely able to get out of spawn? Aki wasn't able to provide any heals, and you know, it could be said that Rusty was a bit ill. He is making excuses about some kind of illness, but whether or not we believe that.
And we have Wonder hacking up a lung on the stream, so I feel like if Wonder can pull it off.
Yeah, no, I've managed to push through, and I can do shot calling and talking throughout all this. But here we go. We've got Control Center to start off with. As Zulu said earlier, this is tending to be quite a Goats-orientated map, but you do tend to see some May, some Farah coming out
Reaper
on
comes
this.
out a lot. And I know Feline Lucky run it as they are doing now. Oh, they've opted for. Maybe they're not running the Genji. They're just.
I don't think that Sea-Dog is running the Genji.
Yeah, Sea-Dog's definitely going to be swapping over to the Zarya, and I'm not sure. I wonder if Cat's going to stay on the Lucio. Definitely, at least to boost them out of the point. I suppose that...
See, the countdown came up on my screen then, but it was the countdown until you're ready to mess around and spawn and try and get that basketball in. And...
See, the thing about Cat's Lucio is, she seems to be allergic to healing. It's always speed. I was expecting it to Nepal. Straight speed, no heals.
That's the only way to play Lucio.
Reddit Lucio at its finest, my friends.
Yep, and there they go. Speed boost coming out, but Mana's also got that Lucio speed boost coming out, and they are going to meet. And that... Oh, and wow! It looks like SKR.Pink goes straight for the point. Arjun and Brigitte stun going out. Maywall goes in, separating some of the team, but no really kills are going to come of it. Swoon already forced into his Ice Pillar for healing. And wow, just recently does manage to pick up, and the D.Va is going to get charged into a wall. She is going to escape, and that's going to be a shatter coming out immediately. It looks like it does demech the D.Va, catching no one else, and now kills are going to be piling up for Feline Lucky, and that is going to definitely be the point for them, as Mana gets tragically half frozen and killed very slowly.
And I was going to say about the discrepancy in the ult charge, but no, I was... SKR.Pink threw away some of their ult charge to switch up their comp straight away. I was going to say it was fairly even after that, but just recently getting dangerously close to that fight winning if it gets off Death Blossom, but Cat going down some random nades.
Ooh,
and then Swoon.
Wow, I can't believe that, Junkrat. Takar, you are a madman. You did fall and get immediately res to an ult, which frankly is a terrible use of a Reaper ult. But now we see SKR.Pink with all their manpower as a poor Swoon on the Mei has to struggle bus back onto the point. They are going to get ult, but now Seastruck does rip apart Sea-Dog, and yet they are going to get their bubble up and survive. A Chire comes out again! They find Saito in the back, and there's the Pharah! But the Junkrat death is going to kill him again! Sound Barrier is coming out to protect the rest of the team, and they are going to keep a hold of the point. That was an excellent hold by Feline Lucky.
See, you said that was a terrible use of a Death Blossom, or a terrible use of an ult just to get that Junkrat. But what it did was delay. It delayed for time and allowed, was it Cat and Swoon to come back from spawn and rejoin in time for the fight. As, I don't want to say zoning ult, but as a delay tactic, it was brilliant. And then Deathstroke gets taken down. Oh, Sea-Dog taken out to Car's ult there straight away. Again.
That's another situation, though, where I don't know if I would have thrown that ult out. A Mei ult has been distributed liberally about the field, catching many players. Deathstroke briefly among them, chiefly among them. And wow, Big Shatter comes out! He catches them! The charge doesn't manage to catch it, but that keeps them away from the point, doing exactly what he wanted it to do. Also, a grab coming out from Matthias Sakias. Saito's barrage in the last few minutes delivers cheeky kills.
Yeah, Saito obviously getting frustrated at the situation there and absolutely demolishing the team after the game's over. But brilliant work from Feline Lucky there, doing what they needed to do, whether it was by chance or deliberately, to delay for long enough by just recently there to let his team come back alive and let them do the damage they needed to. Now, we've also got Swoon coming out here on the Widowmaker, who, as we were just saying, popped off fairly hard last time we saw him on this map. Let's see if he can do the same, because Saito is coming out on the Pharah, Takara is coming out on the Hanzo, and Mathasaki is coming out on the Wrecking Ball. Now, I'm still not 100% on how I feel about Wrecking Ball on this particular setup.
A Wrecking Ball plus a Reinhardt. Yeah, a Wrecking Ball plus a Reinhardt. This may be SKR.Pink trying out something they've never tried before. As the Winston Diva combination, I believe that is going to prove to be the more deadly combination. However, we haven't seen any kills yet, as the healers are doing a lot of the work. Ooh, but there it is! Deathstroke on the Reinhardt, D-Mex, but kills come back immediately. He gets eliminated. Mr. Kaliman's heals get shut down as Saito finds Swoon before Swoon can knock him out of the air. It's now a kind of a deadlock, as no one seems to be able to take control of the point. Feline Lucky starting to build charge, now pushing SKR.Pink away. Fish is not going to be able to take that Saito out alone, as they are able to escape. Pharmacy still the deadly combination that it will always prove to be.
See, this is the problems with the Pharmacy combo there, is they spent so long trying to kill Swoon there that the rest of the point, it was a 4v5. And they didn't have that additional healing. They only had Mythicali keeping them up, and it just wasn't enough. And the rest of the team was just focusing so hard on everything else going on. Just recently, obviously, given me away, so he must have known that I was spectating him there. But yeah, it just opened up the fight so much and devalued SRK.Pink's overall team strength by having those two players out of commission, that it was actually really good for them that they were bringing out that Widowmaker. But now SKR.Pink has 6 ultimates.
and they are going to use them with liberal abandon as both barrages come out, and it is an almost even trade, but Saito's Pharah, I think, is going to take the edge here, crushing the enemy Mercy as Mana lives long enough to bring Mr. Kaliman back onto the point. Poor Fish's Winston finally falls, and that is going to switch the point over to SKR.Pink for the first time on this particular control series.
But 71%. Oh, Mafasaki going off the edge.
Not good.
Yeah,
That's going to be a tank. Ooh, but is Feline Lucky going to get back in time for it to matter?
They might just be in time, but with Saito taken out just recently there, and that it does get the Ana, the Mercy even.
And that is one of the other major problems with Pharmercy. Once a Diva Bomb goes out and you're stuck in the sky, there's not a lot of places for you to run. Excellent use of Coalescence. Cat. That was Cat. Poor Cat, poor Cat, poor Cat. Warping right into the minefield. That's going to take them out. However, Feline Lucky might have the point presence necessary to finish this out. Only Matheosaki left on the point doing that classic delaying tactic as dragons come out, not really catching anyone, zoning them further into the point. Clever concussion blast by Pharah keeps the car from getting onto the point, has to go in through the window and gets immediately killed by Swoon, who has switched over to the McCree and kills, or rather gets murdered by Manas and Yada, who is then also immediately picked up. Trades now coming back and forth. Now this is really just going to be mostly stalls as SKR.Pink is forced away. One more fight left in their bank before Feline Lucky will take this, end the map.
And it looks like they're going to do it here because Deathstroke!
Massive
But they
shatter,
self-destruct. But there's people on the point. There's two people on the point. Get on the point. Get on the point. Get on the point. Yes, they've got on the point. Ooh,
Wow.
Mana does go down there, and Takara has gone down as well. It's only a furiously spinning Wrecking Ball who goes down, and there comes the barrage that will end this.
Wow.
Is anyone else going to be able to get on there? Mana throws himself off
Not
the
a
edge
chance.
as Saito goes down at the end. And we do have a victory coming out for Feline Lucky.
That was a fantastic hold by Feline Lucky. I really do love SKR.Pink's, attempt at retaking it. But since this is a scrim, it looks like they are going to play the third round of Lijiang Tower, the Gardens.
Yeah, it looks like they are definitely playing a best of 5 here. Just so they can see each stage. It does look like just recently is saying, yeah, we just want to see each stage. So we have one, but we want to play out this map as well to hopefully rub it in a little bit. You've got to have your victory laps.
And of course, this is great practice for both teams to, try out some new things. At this point, I was kind of hoping to see some teams try something new. It looks like we have pretty standard comps coming out from both sides. Doomfist McCree on the SKR.Pink side, which is an immediately ripped apart as Fish charges, catches, and kills Takar's Doomfist. A counter charge comes out. Cat gets annihilated. Deathstroke is murdered for his crimes. And a shatter comes out from Fish already before the point even unlocked.
Some people would say that this is a Zulu-esque performance with the way that these shatters are being built up.
Too many charges, he says. It's true, though. Most of his ult charge is coming from those early charges, which he is picking up targets from, but ultimately that is leading to his early death, and if Mercy was not around to pick him up off the ground, he would fall exactly like he did just now. Running a Reinhardt into a Doomfist is frankly a miserable experience if you don't have anyone to deal with that Doomfist, as he simply ignores your shield and eats you for breakfast. And this point is definitely going to go to SKR.Pink, as Takar's Doomfist comes out of nowhere seemingly, perfect for combating Fish's Reckless Reinhardt.
But like we were
Reckless
just
is a very
talking
generous
about,
word.
we've got a Ryan and Winston composition coming out.
Wow.
Or has been out since the start of this map. And Mathasaki's managed to build up quite a lot of ult charges, at almost 70%. So he's going to have Primal, which is going to be great for stalling the point. And
the
Fish
charge.
gets the charge.
It's worth.
Manages to cancel the shatter. What was Deathstroke thinking?
That was clutch. Clutch block.
And this is not quite going Feline Lucky's way, as they're getting thoroughly annihilated. As just recently is doing what he can before getting instantly annihilated the second I start spectating him. On that point. But, credit to them, they haven't popped a single ult. So they have 6 ults.
And it looks like Deathstruck. Ooh! Saito manages to end that push with a nice little kill onto the Mercy. Ooh, but hang on. Here comes Swoon, picking out Mathiasaki. A Meteor Strike doesn't manage to kill anyone. They are going to get the DMAC on Sea-Dog, but they are going to continue to push in, and it looks like they might be trying to get some of those ults back. Sea-Dog, if they can get their mech back, is going to be able to pull out that Fish diving way too far into the point. Is definitely going to die for that. He absolutely does. And now Shatter, having been found by Deathstruck, is going to end this push as Swoon just ends it all.
And at 87%, they still have 6 ultimates. 90%, 91. Sea-Dog has tried to go in prematurely. He's been pushed away. He's popped that ult. See if he can get in. He does get on, but he's not touched the point yet. He has just now touched the point, but he's instantly been demeched. He's instantly put his team to a 1-0 thing. If he'd just waited, his team would have still made it onto the point. Fish gets his shatter blocked there by a very clutch punch from Takar. Saito takes him down as random shadow reses just recently to prematurely get brought up to life before Takar punched him off the face of the earth. Sea-Dog is back, Swoon goes down, random shadow goes down, Meteor Strike comes straight out there, and now Sea-Dog's been demexed, Cat goes down to a Fire Strike from Deathstruck, and it is over. So, SKR.Pink managed to get a little bit of pride back from that last one to make it a 2-1 loss on that set of 3. I imagine that that is going to be the end of it. But, whoo, what a way to end it.
That was a nice reverse sweep from Feline Lucky.
Yeah, I definitely really enjoyed seeing them, how do we say this, coalesce into a solid push again. A much better team coming out of that halftime break, taking both maps and then doing a fantastic job on Lijiang Tower. However, that third point makes me wonder what would have happened if SKR.Pink had brought out that Doomfist just a little earlier.
Yeah, does make you wonder about, well, I say about, I mean, you know, if that Doomfist could have had an impact in any of the points earlier.
Given how frequently Fish was charging into the backline, that did seem like the perfect counter dive strategy to use against them. Simply wait until Fish, charges in, have Takar on the Doomfist simply lock him up, shut him up, kill him, and then just deal with the rest of the team one by one.
Yeah, really good effort from Feline Lucky, managing to hold their nerve and bring that back from a 2-0 almost loss. So, yeah. Who would you say was the player of the game for you?
Oh.
Wow.
No one. I mean, everyone had their moments. There wasn't that one person that stood out for all the matches. Everyone had their different, clutch plays throughout the different maps.
Yeah, because I can't say Swoon because there were too many times where a misuse of cooldowns contributed to losing the point. But then he had those great moments, such as on King's Row, where he nailed it perfectly, making sure that he pulls out his ultimate before getting killed, allowing Feline Lucky to take the edge in the fight. There were a lot of moments like that. I think this was a game where they were definitely flipping the coin to both sides. Both teams, frankly, had a lot of misses, and then both teams had a lot of great moments. Hopefully this was a good learning experience for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what this is all about, to be fair. They're both teams that are in gold to platinum. I don't think there was anyone in there that we saw that was a diamond player, but regardless, this is all just for fun. This is a learning experience. This is teams trying to improve their coordination and play as Overwatch players. And we saw a great game coming out there from both teams having their individual moments of, oh my god, that was clutch, they've just won this for the fight. I don't think there was any person on either team that was completely nameless throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, definitely. But if I was to pick someone, I can't really pick someone.
I'm gonna go with Sea-Dog. I'm gonna go with Sea-Dog as the most consistently effective player on the team. The bubbles were there, the Gravs were there. They were not the most standout player, but I think what it comes down to for me is they were the one who performed most consistently well.
Yeah, think about it. I'd probably agree with you. Despite some really questionable self-destructs and personal stalls, I think it's mainly at the end there that he really poisoned himself to me. I was like, oh, why did you do that? You managed to get away scot-free and you had a full mech. You managed to get out alive.
Yeah, there were some times where the Diva Bomb got dropped, and I definitely disagreed with it. But
at the same time, yeah, he had some really great Diva Bombs. He had some really great Gravs. I keep doing hand gestures like the people can see what I'm doing. But, yeah, really, really good one. And also, congratulations to Feline Lucky on getting a win. Because it has... I think this is the first cast I've seen them actually win a game. And they really put in the effort there. They really dug deep to win it. Because getting a reverse sweep is no easy feat. The whole time in your head you can be going, oh, if we lose this fight, if we lose this map, then we've lost it. Come on, come on, come on. And you're pressuring yourself as a person going, okay, I've got my ult, I can't screw this up, I can't screw this up, don't screw this up. If I screw this up, I'm going to go downstairs and slam my nuts in the fridge for an hour.
Wait a minute, that was way too specific.
Oh no, I've said too much. No, yeah, that's just a general thing that people do. That's not me specifically. But yeah, no, great to see, great effort, and thank you for putting on such a good show for us tonight.
Yeah, both teams did a really great job. Really excellent to watch you guys go at it.
It's nice to see Feline Lucky win.
Yeah.
Yeah, never managed it with a certain Z-named user on their team. So, is there anything that you'd like to say as sort of a final word?
I have something to say.
Go on then.
Directed at Fish.
What was that?
Hear it?
Direct to Fish.
Bind charge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fish. If we can give some feedback to the players, yeah. Fish. Really think about your charges before you push that button. I know, we all know, as casters and as people that play a lot of tanks.
It's so tempting, but you gotta refrain, dude.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are very, when you're charging, you gotta think about, is it safe to charge? Where will you end up if you do go through that charge? And is it worth? Will it bring value? And they're the three things I think you gotta bear in mind when looking for a charge. And the distance overall, because if it's a short charge, that means it's a lot more safer.
Yeah, and my personal tip would be to Sea-Dog on King's Row or any point where you're on the high ground and you're the diva and you want to contest the point, don't use your boosters. I just wanted to reach through my screen and throttle you a couple times because you did it. And if you do that, you've got no escape opportunities. If you just drop down as a casual person walking, you're not going that much faster by boosting, then you can contest the point for longer because then you can use your boosters to get out. Like I said, you can dodge, duck, dip, dodge, and dive. And then you can get back out and get healed up and do it again. But if you use your boosters to get in, then you've got no escape plan, no way to block anything other than your defense matrix. When you're going into the face of a Reinhardt, isn't going to help you, and against a Zarya, isn't going to help you. So please try and focus on doing that. Threep, is there anything that you want to give as a pointer?
Oh, I think we've already said it all during the cast and now. But again, yeah, last bit of warning. Cooldown management.
And ult management as well.
And ult management. We saw it really great on the Rialto with the push from SKR.Pink. They managed to cleverly use ults to win fights whilst also increasing charge, making sure that they had ults for the next fight. That's the kind of thing you want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and to the SKR.Pink, if you're watching this back, I'm fairly certain you're French. I just want to say, merci beaucoup pour un bon jeu. Or, thank you very much for a good game, if I didn't say that right. So, yeah, this is us going to be ending this off, I think, because I think we've all said what we wanted to say.
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, thank you very much. I've been Wonder Sauce. I've been joined tonight by Threepwood, our Philadelphia Flyer, and by Zulu, the undominatable Reinhardt. Top 4 in all of AWP.
Nah. EU number 1 Reinhardt. Actually, we'll call me AWP number 1 Reinhardt. Mark my words.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing you in the All-Star game.
That was before I was reformed.
Yep, no, but thank you very much for anyone who's tuned in to watch, and we'll catch you later.
Thank you all, and good night.
Goodbye.